Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to get other romance audiobooks for free.
Chapter 47. Louis came out of the mansion and decided to meet LUNE, who Vea had brought him to, a shopping place. Louis! Someone shouted, and the one who called him was Claire. Louis looked at Claire, who was still wearing a hospital gown and her head was bandaged. Louis didn't care about that and walked to his car. Then Claire ran and held Louis's hand. Listen to me first. What LUNE said is not true. LUNE never said that. She is pregnant with me. That's not true. He just wants to separate us, Louis, said Claire, with her tears. Louis roughly let go of Claire's hand and stared at her sharply. You're truly disgusting, Claire. You've been fooling me all this time. You thought I would trust you again? Your whiny face makes me fooled by your rotten nature, Louis snapped. Louis didn't want to wait too long with Claire, and he opened the car door. Louis, LUNE doesn't deserve you. She's a wild woman. It could be the child she's carrying, not your son, said Claire while pulling Louis's shirt. Plaque, how dare you say that? Louis shouted after slapping him hard on the cheek. Claire, why you've never been this rude to me before, said Claire while crying. You heartless and very selfish human. Louis snapped. I'm sure it's not your child, because LUNE often hangs out with lots of men, complained Claire. Hearing this, Louis became very angry and furious. Louis grabbed Claire's neck and threw her onto the grass until Claire fell. Once again you say that about LUNE, you will die. Louis said angrily, and he said, doesn't care even if he has to do violence to Claire, because he considers her a woman. It is the devil incarnate, and I consider you dead from today. I assume I have never known a creature evil like you, said Louis coldly. Louis got into his car feeling angry and then left there, leaving Claire still on the grass. Thea watched from a distance and just folded her arms in front of her chest. Then Claire looked at Thea and cried as if asking for help, but Thea turned around and went into the mansion and closed the door. If I didn't know you so well, I would really exile you in the wilderness, Claire, muttered Thea in a whisper behind the large door. Claire cried uncontrollably in the front yard of the mansion. The business has been going on for years. Approaching Louis was destroyed instantly by the arrival of LUNE. LUNE ruins his perfectly arranged life. Claire even has, dreaming of living with Louis in the mansion with their children in the future, but that dream was shattered. Claire was still screaming in the yard because of her frustration. Mansion security finally took Claire back to the hospital. They looked after the woman until her family came to pick her up at New Hospital. York. Louis cursed all the way because he was angry with Claire. Louis temporarily parked his car on the side of the road and rested his forehead on it, over the hand that rests on the steering wheel. Shit. He swears again. Louis tried to calm himself and calm his anger. He didn't want to drive, in a state full of emotion. You won't be able to come into my life and LUNE's life again. I'll make sure of that, Louis muttered softly. Chapter 48. Are we going home now, Mom? Thea asked. No, LUNE and Louis are getting married, so we will wait until tomorrow, answered Thea. Can it be taken care of that quickly? Thea asked. I've taken care of it, answered Rillian. That fast? Thea asked again. Max is taking care of it. So it will be done quickly, answered Rillian. What about LUNE's parents? Thea asked. LUNE doesn't want to contact them yet, answered Thea, looking at LUNE, was playing basketball alone in the back court. We'll just leave it to LUNE. She will sort out her family matters herself. Except, he asked for our help to discuss this with his family, said Thea. Okay, said Vea. Are we going to Mommy's mansion now? Rillian asked. Okay, come on, answered Vea. Lune doesn't want to come? Vea asked. It seems like he still wants to be alone and doesn't want to be disturbed, answered Jared. Yeah, we'll just leave him here for now. Thea said. Then the four of them left the mansion to meet Rillian's family. Louis arrived just 5 minutes after his family left. He looked for Lune in the room because down there was no family gathering at all. Where is everyone? Louis asked a servant who was cleaning, upper room. They went to Mr. Rillian's family house, answered the servant, including Lune? Louis asked. Miss Lune is in the backyard playing basketball, sir, the woman answered. Thank you, Louis said and walked towards the backyard where Lune was playing. Basketball alone, Louis took off his jacket and t-shirt and ran towards the private basketball court. Aren't you inviting me to play? Louis asked. Lune stopped playing and held the basketball at his waist. I want to play alone, answered Lune and then dribbled the ball away, put it in the ring. Louis took the ball and stood in front of Lune. Your skills are still not bad, said Louis. My abilities will never fade even if I haven't practiced for 5 years. Answer. Lune looked up at Louis's face. Including your lovemaking skills? Louis asked. Then Lune stood on tiptoe and kissed Louis's lips. His hand took the ball from Louis and put it back into the ring. It seems like your abilities are starting to decline. Honey. Is it because you're too busy dating Claire? Lune quipped while dribbling the ball. Louis then took the ball from Lune's hand and put the ball in. See? Louis said and then kissed Lune's lips twice. Lune took the ball and avoided the block made by Louis and Louis hit Lune's butt. Lune chuckled and became unfocused until finally Louis managed to grab the ball and put it in the ring. Louis approached Lune and kissed her lips twice again. 2 points, said Louis with a crooked smile. Lune took the ball and the woman moved swiftly and blocked Louis's movement, standing in front of him. Lune moved her but closer to Louis who was behind her, so that the man couldn't take the ball. Hey, you cheated, said Louis. No, you also spanked my butt earlier, said Lune and her body jumped up, put the ball in, but Louis jumped higher behind Lune and took the ball away. Inserting it was easy because of his tall body. Louis shrugged his shoulders with a smile and approached Lune again. He kissed the beautiful green-eyed woman's red lips again. 2 points, he said again. Chapter 49. They played basketball until they were both sweaty. Lune's mood got better because of that even though Louis always kissed her lips every time the man scored a point. Cup cup cup. Louis kissed Lune on the lips again 3 times after scoring 3 points because, put the ball on the line, the arc. I love this game, said Louis with a charming smile. Then Lune took the ball from Louis's hand and elbowed him in the stomach and put it in, the ball into the ring from a distance. Why do you always cheat? Louis asked. This is my game, so follow my rules. If you don't want to, just get out. I'll play alone, Lune answered while shrugging her shoulders. Lune took the ball and challenged Louis again. Louis hugged Lune's stomach from behind and took the ball that Lune was holding, put the basketball with only one hand into the ring. Meanwhile, Louis's left hand still hugged Lune until the woman's body was slightly lifted. I'm not a shopping bag that you can carry, said Lune sneeringly. Louis laughed softly and let go of his hug. Then Louis grabbed the nape of Lune's neck and kissed her lips. Lune put his arm around Louis's sweaty neck. The lip kiss lasted briefly, because LUNE gently pushed Louis's chest. "Get ready, we will get married tomorrow," said LUNE, who then turned to walk towards mansion. Louis pulled back LUNE's waist and looked at her green eyes. "I want you now," said Louis. LUNE then kissed Louis's lips again. "Be patient," said LUNE, and took Louis's hand into the mansion. "You still mad at me?" Louis asked. LUNE just shrugged his shoulders as he walked. "Baby, come on," said Louis. "I'll think about it after getting married tomorrow," answered LUNE. Then Louis lifted LUNE and carried LUNE's body on his broad shoulders. "Hey, let me go," ordered LUNE. "I don't want to wait any longer," answered Louis. "You want to make me angry," said LUNE. "I'd rather turn you on," answered Louis. "Let me go," LUNE said again. Louis entered the mansion and went up to the second floor so that no one would disturb him. "I'll be really angry," said LUNE again. Louis ignored LUNE's words and walked into the room. "Phew. You're quite heavy now," said Louis as he locked the door, then lowered LUNE's body. LUNE's face looked red and now her mouth was ready to scold. But before that was done, Louis had already covered those sexy lips with his lips. His hot kiss. LUNE, who received a sudden attack, was like 10 able to dodge. Louis lifted LUNE's body back and LUNE's legs wrapped around Louis's waist. Louis took LUNE to the bed and lay her body down there. The man opened LUNE's clothes without removing his lips from LUNE's. The woman couldn't protest anymore. LUNE's mind and body were not working in sync, because her body seemed to enjoy the touch. Louis, despite his thoughts, refused to do this. Louis moved quickly by rubbing LUNE's groin with his hand and making. LUNE screamed softly. "Oh." LUNE screamed. "I really know you want it too," Louis whispered against LUNE's still lips. "Open, Louis." Chapter 50. The sound of Louis's cell phone vibrating was felt in his trouser pocket. LUNE, who heard it, took the cell phone from Louis's trouser pocket at his buttocks. LUNE saw Claire's name and accepted the call. LUNE then put the cell phone beside her so that Claire could hear Louis's sigh. And LUNE, who was initially going to punish Louis by ignoring him, apparently lost, with her body's passion peaking due to the touch of Louis's skillful hand at the base, his thigh, Louis thought. LUNE had turned off his cell phone when it rang. HMMPPHH. "I miss you so much," said Louis with an audible sigh. Sexy, and what is certain is that Claire heard it from the other side of the phone. LUNE smiled and returned Louis's kiss, which was no less hot. They warmed up for a long time until finally all their clothes were scattered on top floor. Louis was already moving quickly over LUNE's body, which was getting plumper at this ripe age. Louis sighed and enjoyed his hot romance with LUNE afterwards. "Haven't done it in years." Louis traced LUNE's round and full chest with wild kisses. LUNE sighed in pleasure, and it seemed like she didn't want to end this pleasure. LUNE's hand was holding Louis's head, still playing with his neck and chest area, which moves up and down according to the rhythm of Louis's movements, until finally LUNE arched her body when she had reached her peak with Louis. They embrace each other at the end of their passionate accomplishment. "Love you," said Louis, his breathing still sounding fast. Meanwhile, LUNE was still catching her breath with her arms wrapped around Louis's back. Louis kissed LUNE's shoulder up to her neck. Then LUNE's hand felt for the mattress and took it. Louis's cell phone then looked at the screen. It turned out that Claire still didn't turn off the phone, and finally LUNE did. Turn it off first. Sick, LUNE thought, cursing Claire in her heart. "I bought a wedding dress," said LUNE while still hugging Louis. Louis let go of his hug and looked into LUNE's eyes, then kissed her. So you bought a wedding dress with Vea? Louis asked. Said LUNE. Why not go with me? Louis asked. I'm bored looking at you, answered LUNE. What? Louis replied and took a sip on his swollen red lips. LUNE chuckled. My intentions have changed. At first, I didn't want to pay attention to you. Ooh, that's annoying, said LUNE. Louis laughed. You won't be able to ignore me, baby, said Louis, while kissing LUNE's neck. He never gets bored of doing that. We're sweating, said LUNE, holding Louis's head still along his neck, his chest. Then Louis got up and opened the bedroom window, then took a towel in. Bathroom. LUNE saw Louis walking without wearing anything, and he realized that he couldn't avoided Louis because he felt too deep in love with this handsome and sexy man. I love you, said LUNE, supporting her head and looking at Louis now. Walked in wearing a bathrobe while his hand held a towel for LUNE. I love you too, answered Louis, and rubbed LUNE's body, which was still a little sweaty. Then Louis covered LUNE's body with a blanket and then hugged the warm body again. That. LUNE looked up at Louis and kissed his lips, then bit him. Booch. That hurts, little girl, said Louis. That's your reward for daring to kiss a woman other than me, answered LUNE casually, sticking out his tongue. Stop this discussion, okay? Oh God, said Louis. Then LUNE bit Louis's neck again. Chapter 51. I love you, said Louis, who then kissed LUNE on the lips after a short process. Their wedding. I love you too, answered LUNE and kissed the man who was now legal again, her husband. The Kingsford family looked happy to welcome this quite dramatic wedding. If your soulmate doesn't run away, where will you go? I think Louis is very lucky because he didn't get married with Claire. Just imagine if LUNE came when Louis was already married to Claire. Beau whispered beside Thea. Yes, it's certain that there will be a third world war, Thea whispered. Beau laughed at that. The family doesn't know yet? Beau asked. Not yet, I don't want to force LUNE. Let him decide for himself, answered Thea. Beau just nodded, and after the wedding procession, they had a party, little Kingsford family style. It couldn't be said to be a small party because the Kingsford family had quite a lot of members, plus the Robert and Romanoff families who live in New York. Several friends of the Kingsford family came to enliven the impromptu wedding party. The family from England suddenly arrived last night and immediately joined the party. Tonight, the event organizer, none other than Vea, brought in a DJ who would enliven the atmosphere of this party. Vea pulled LUNE into the dance area and they danced together. Wait. I really like this song, said LUNE when the DJ played his favorite music. LUNE, me too, said Vea, raising her hands up. LUNE took the sunglasses belonging to the man beside him and sang his favorite song. It was with Vea. Louis saw her from afar and a smile tugged at the corners of his lips, looking at the woman. His idol has returned to how it used to be. You guys going on your honeymoon? Asked Gio, his younger brother. It's up to LUNE. I'm just following her wishes, answered Louis. I didn't know your love was this complicated. I hope you're always happy, said Gio. Louis nodded and then followed LUNE and asked her to dance together. Louis grabbed LUNE's waist and kissed her lips for a long time, then they danced together. Louis and LUNE's smiles always grew throughout the party. LUNE asked Vea to send her photos of the wedding, so it's not clear. Congratulations, you can now enjoy 5 ad-free universal copy uses. Thank you. After dancing for a long time, LUNE was then pulled by Vea and Zinnia to the para, women gather. Meanwhile, Louis also mingled with his other brothers and sisters, chat casually with them on this happy evening. Whoa, The photos are very good. You are very talented, Zaira, said LUNE to Zaira, the wife of Dior Kingsford, who is none other than Louis's sister. I'll send it to your cell phone later, answered Zaira. Just now, said LUNE. Okay, replied Zaira, and she also sent a photo of LUNE and Louis's wedding moment. Aren't you going on a honeymoon? Bea asked. I just want to honeymoon in England. Reminisce about the past. I miss it, my hometown, Juan LUNE. It's not a honeymoon, LUNE. Because you're going to stay there. Just go to the forest house if you like. I see, said Vea. LUNE nodded and smiled. Then tomorrow we will be together, said Thea. Okay, answered LUNE, smiling and returning to chatting casually with several relatives. Kingsford, LUNE. Call Sasha from afar and approach her. Sasha, said LUNE happily, because she thought Sasha wouldn't come. LUNE came to Sasha and hugged each other. I thought you weren't coming, said LUNE. Yes, I was. But the meeting schedule was changed, and finally I was able to come here, answered Sasha. I haven't said goodbye to Mr. Silva yet, said LUNE. What do you mean? Louis submitted your resignation a few days ago. To the company, and immediately met Mr. Silva. Don't you know that? Sasha said. Oh my, he is very sure that I will come back to him, said LUNE. Of course. You love that handsome man to death, LUNE. And he is very aware of it, said. Sasha chuckled. LUNE just smiled while looking at Louis from a distance. Chapter 52. Claire went berserk by slamming everything near her. Claire screamed loudly and hysterically, Honey, calm down. You can't be like this, said Lucinda, Claire's mother. They're so impudent. How dare they play with my daughter, growled Reuben. Father, Claire. Claire looked depressed and as if she was going crazy when she heard the news of Louis and her marriage. LUNE, we can't do anything, Dad. They're too strong and powerful. They're right, really evil and selfish without thinking about Claire's feelings, said Tyson, Claire's older brother. Shit. Reuben cursed, angry, because he couldn't do anything for his daughter. Dad. Please return Louis to me. I can't live without him, Dad. Claire shouted, frustrated. Lucinda hugged Claire. Calm down, there are still many men out there who want to accept you. Men in this world aren't just Louis, said Lucinda, thinking logically. Claire let go of her mother's embrace and looked at her angrily. No one can replace Louis in my heart. Why doesn't Mommy understand me? I've loved him for years. Claire snapped emotionally and screamed again. He also opened the 4-tube attached to his wrist and made. Reuben and Tyson held back his hands from doing anything more reckless. Then the doctor was forced to inject Claire with a sedative because Claire couldn't. Controlled. Lucinda looked like she was crying when she saw Claire's mental state. Louis and LUNE's wedding. We have to get him home as soon as possible, said Lucinda. He's not stable yet, and we can't get him on a plane if he can't behave. Controlled, Reuben answered. Yeah, we can't use Louis's private plane anymore, said Tyson. We'll keep him here until he calms down enough. Close all information about Louis so that he doesn't get worse and suffer, said Reuben. Lucinda and Tyson just nodded following the family head's orders. LUNE was sitting on the edge of the bed holding her and Louis's cell phones. LUNE sent photos of her wedding photos to Louis's cell phone and then forwarded them to him. Claire, you're dead, he whispered, smiling crookedly. Then LUNE blocked Claire's number from Louis's cell phone after sending the photo and made sure that Claire had seen it. Huffed. LUNE breathed a sigh of relief and lay down on the bed while stretched out his hands. I await your destruction, Claire. You dare to play with my life, and now, I will play with your life until you feel like you don't want to live anymore, he muttered. LUNE slowly. Check. The bathroom door opened and Louis came out wearing only a towel wrapped around his waist. Louis stood in front of LUNE and pulled her hand. You don't want to shower? Louis asked. I still smell good, so I don't want to shower, answered LUNE while kissing her hand and shoulder. Alone, Louis smiled and then knelt in front of him. The sexy man helped LUNE, opened her white wedding dress while kissing her beautiful shoulder. LUNE turned her body so Louis could untie the strap of the dress on her back. This dress is very complicated. Don't you feel uncomfortable wearing it? Louis asked as he opened it. The rope hook. No. This makes my body look beautiful and my chest is bigger, answered LUNE. Exists. Louis chuckled and kissed LUNE's back. After successfully opening the strap, Louis lowered LUNE's dress and cupped her chest. Her balls looked ready to receive his hot massage. LUNE moaned because of Louis's touch on her chest and small kisses on the nape of her neck. His neck. Chapter 53. LUNE then turned around and kissed Louis's lips. Then LUNE bit her lip again. How long are you going to keep biting my lips? Louis asked. All your life. I can forgive, but I will never forget. Prepare yourself, said LUNE, smiling crookedly. Louis chuckled and immediately lifted LUNE's body into the middle of the bed. The man kissed, bit, and sucked on his wife's sexy lips without mercy. He didn't give LUNE a chance to bite her lip again. Then Louis took off LUNE's underwear and showed off his kissing skills again, his tongue on LUNE's most sensitive part. Aya. LUNE moaned loudly, and that made Louis even more excited. His hands cupped LUNE's round, challenging chest. LUNE arched her body and really enjoyed what Louis was doing to her. His groin, her feet rested on his back and rubbed there. LUNE's hand rose up and squeezed the white sheet. Then Louis continued his kisses to LUNE's thighs and legs. Then the sexy man returned to LUNE's chest area and traced it down to her neck and lips. LUNE. This hot romance lasted quite a long time because Louis and LUNE did it with slowly while enjoying the intimacy of those who had been separated for a long time. I love you, whispered Louis in LUNE's ear. You really love me, and you won't be able to get away from me, said LUNE and kissed Louis's neck. Don't bite it, said Louis, moving his body over her innocent body. Warm LUNE. LUNE laughed a little and kept biting the neck and sucking until a mark was created. Blackish red there. You like my bite? Asked LUNE, who then changed her position on top of Louis. Said Louis while massaging LUNE's chest, which was in front of him. LUNE moved slowly but surely over Louis's body, and his hands rested on his six-pack abs. That handsome man. Her long hair flowed as her body moved back and forth. Louis held LUNE's hips to help her move. LUNE smiled and kissed Louis's lips again. Louis's hands hugged her slender body, while still moving under LUNE. Their bodies pressed together and rubbed together, making them enjoy it even more. That hot scene. The sound of moaning in response enlivened the silence of their hotel room. Occupy at the moment. LUNE and Louis slept at the hotel tonight because they didn't want to be disturbed by anything. They wanted to enjoy this long night together to the fullest. The romance lasted quite a long time and it seemed like they never got bored of doing it, especially when Louis didn't let LUNE go in bed at all. The atmosphere in the mansion is now quite quiet because the wedding event has completely ended. After LUNE and Louis went to the hotel and all the family members went into their room, Brock, the mansion gate was hit by a speeding car. Ruben got out of his car with Tyson, the son. 2 security guards approached them and held down Ruben's body, who wanted to attack him. "Where is that irresponsible man?" shouted Ruben angrily. "You're making a scene here." "Go away or you'll regret it, sir," said the officer. "That's security. We're not afraid of you," shouted Tyson, who then hit the security guard, but his punch missed, and he was the one who fell. "Call Louis." "He caused my daughter to suicide," shouted Ruben again. Chapter 54. The commotion could not be heard in the main mansion because of the distance between the gate and the mansion. "Far enough. Leave because you are not welcome here," snapped the security officer. Then Ruben tried to hit the officer, and it was Ruben who was thrown away. His opponent immediately hit Ruben back. The 2 security officers were forced to beat Ruben and Tyson back because they ignored the officer's warning. "We will call the police if you continue to cause trouble here," said the officer. Tyson cursed, and finally, they both left the Kingsford mansion. "TSK, TSK, TSK. They're just looking for death," said one of the security guards. Then Ruben and Tyson headed towards the hospital again. After seeing Lune and Louis's wedding photos, Claire tries to commit suicide, hit his head against the wall. This made everyone panic and prevented Claire from doing something crazy. The doctor said that Claire was depressed because of what happened to her, and the doctor suggested that Claire be treated in a mental hospital temporarily so that she could correct treatment and his soul is a little calm. Claire's family was devastated to hear this fact and wanted to make a calculation at Lune and Louis, even though they knew that they wouldn't be able to fight back. Kingsford family. By morning, the Kingsford family was preparing to return to England. Meanwhile, Lune and Louis will stay in New York for 2 weeks first. Before returning to England, Lune opened his eyes that morning when his cell phone rang. He fumbled on the nightstand beside him and took out his cell phone. "Hello," he said in his hoarse voice. Louis's hands then wrapped around her stomach and kissed her neck despite her eyes still closed. "Lune, your parents and Lana are coming here," said Sasha from across the phone. Lune opened her eyes and then rubbed them. "Okay, I'll go there," answered Lune calmly, because there was no fear at all. Had to face his parents to explain his marriage to Louis. "What is it?" Louis asked, kissing Lune's lips. "Daddy's coming," answered Lune. "Then we have to meet him," said Louis, rubbing Lune's cheek. Let's get ready," answered Lune, kissing Louis on the lips and then leaving. "Sit down." Then Louis pulled Lune's waist and made her sleep again. "We can do it one more time before we go out," said Louis, who was now covered in tears. Again, the lips still looked swollen. "We've done it several times," said Lune. "I always feel like I'm not satisfied doing it," answered Louis. Lune chuckled. "Did Gio give you strong medicine last night?" Lune asked. "I don't need that medicine. Just looking at you makes me excited," he said. Louis and had been gushing over Lune's body to arouse Lune's passion in the morning. This bright one. Lune finally served Louis for the umpteenth time. After that they took a shower together and prepared to go to Sasha's apartment. They wanted to hear an explanation from Lune's parents and also Lana's reasons. Why did they hide this from Lune and Louis? "Change your cell phone number," said Lune when Louis was checking his incoming messages. His cell phone? What for? "There are lots of important numbers on my number," said Louis. "Claire will keep calling you with a new number if you don't change it," said Lune. Louis chuckled. Chapter 55. "Oh, darling. Mommy misses you," said Lord when she saw Lune again. Lune's face looked flat and seemed to still be holding back her annoyance at the two people. "Are you mad at us?" Lord asked. Mom, sit down first, said Lana. Lune looked at Lana and glared at her. You know that Claire is in a relationship with Louis, Lana? Lune asked. Sit down, we'll explain, Lana said calmly. Louis didn't go into the apartment because he didn't want to disturb the conversation. Lune's family. Now the four of them were sitting, and Sasha wasn't there because she was working. Daddy decides everything. Daddy just wants everything to continue as normal when you fall into a coma. Louis was devastated when you weren't around, and the state of your time, it's really like a dead person. We don't expect too much from your life. But it turns out that God still gives us the opportunity to be with you again. I'm sorry, Daddy, said Anthony. Then Claire knows that I'm in a coma? Lune asked. Yes, he knew, and Lana was still in touch with him at that time, answered Lord. Lune looked at Lana. You're friends with your own sister's enemy, Lana? You're like a traitor inside your own family, said Lune, looking sharply at Lana. You can hate me, but I did all this for you. I even left everything just to be able to see you alive again, said Lana. You know very well that my life is only for Louis. Lana. How can you just be silent when he saw Claire having a relationship with Louis? Is Claire more valuable to you than me? Lune snapped emotionally. I really love you, Lune. And Claire, I really know that she loves Louis since a long time ago. He just told me that he could heal Louis and my wounds. I can only accept it because I think I would also be happy if Louis didn't fall down, because your condition at that time really had no hope of living, said Lana. Really? You guys were the ones who held me captive when I was pregnant, and then Claire said something wrong, not to you about Louis, and you believe him. How can you guys do that to me? My baby died because of you. Lune shouted emotionally. No. It's not like that, darling. In fact, we really love you and your baby. That's why we take care of you. Yes, it's true that we believe too much in words, Claire, that Louis left you because you were pregnant. But we did all that because I don't want you to get hurt, said Lord. You know? Louis doesn't even know that I'm pregnant because Claire betrayed me. Shout, Lune. And you, Lana, maybe you don't realize that your best friend has a brain, very evil, and even ruined your own sister's life, continued Lune emotionally. I'm sorry. Since Claire had a relationship with Louis, I haven't had any more contact with him. That's why Claire didn't know that you had woken up from the coma. And I want to keep looking after you so that you are always fine. When I saw you, I lost that memory. It actually makes it easier for us not to tell about Louis, said Lana. If I didn't remember, maybe Louis would still be married to Claire. And he would. It kills me even more and hurts my deepest heart, replied Lune, holding back her tears, because she was too disappointed with her family's decision to separate her from Louis, which in fact is his true love. Chapter 56. Yes, we wronged you. Forgive us. And we regret this for years. Seeing you regain consciousness makes us want to fix everything. Even if we told you about Louis when you woke up, would you immediately recognize Louis and went straight to him? With us you don't even remember, darling. And that will only make Louis even more confused, won't it? Said Anthony. Louis loves me very much, and I'm sure he will be able to accept me as I am, though. Maybe I forgot about it at that time, answered Lune. Okay, it's true that we were at fault, and we're here to apologize to you, darling. Now let's go back to Singapore, okay, said Lord. I'm married to Louis, and I'm going back to England. Answered Lune, yes, Daddy has heard that from Sasha. But can you go home to Singapore first? We still want to stay with you for just a few weeks before you settle down in England, said Anthony. No, Dad. I can't. I'll stay with Louis. How about you guys, separate me from Louis again? I won't easily trust anyone anymore now, including you. Sorry, replied Lune. Lord then approached Lune and hugged her. Yes, we understand that. Forgive us, darling. Please forgive us, he begged, Lord. Then Lune hugged her mother and began to accept everything. They did. It was only because of his affection for Lune, even though it had actually made him. Lune is injured, no matter what happens. Lune still can't hate her family because they have always been there, who took care of him until he regained consciousness. Then Lana hugged Lune and cried, Sorry. I was wrong, and you can repay me with anything, said Lana. I'll reply to you later, said Lune. Lana chuckled and wiped her tears. I really love you, little girl. And now I have to accept a job from the boss as a result. This is what you did. I'll replace you working here, said Lana. So you'll be in America? Lune asked. Yeah, and they added 2 months. Imagine that. I had to, separated from Mommy and Daddy, answered Lana. Maybe you should look for a husband here so you won't be lonely, said Lune. The 4 of them laughed. Anthony approached the 3 beautiful women and spread his arms wide, then hugged them all. I love you all, said the head of the family. Not long after, Louis opened the door to Sasha's apartment because Lune was taking too long, deep, and he was afraid something would happen to Lune. Check. Louis opened the door and saw the Lune family still hugging each other. Oh, sorry to disturb you, said Louis. Lune let go of her hug and approached Louis and hugged her. Husband, did I take too long? Lune asked. I'm afraid something will happen to you, answered Louis. Anthony approached Louis and they shook hands and hugged briefly. Sit down, maybe you also want to tell us something. And we apologize to you for everything that happened, said Anthony. No, I don't want to judge anyone. Because what's important to me is Lune. Come back to me. Thank you for looking after him, said Louis. I hope you don't regret going back to that little girl again, Louis, said Lana. What? Do you want to die, Lana? Lune said with her big eyes widening cutely. Louis laughed when he heard that and kissed Lune on the lips. Only this little girl can make me fall in love, answered Louis. Ooh ugh. You're so sweet, said Lune, kissing Louis's lips in front of his family. Chapter 57. Finally it was decided that Lune's parents would follow Lune to England later. They didn't want to be too far apart from Lune. Meanwhile, Lana will temporarily finished his work in New York before following his parents to England. Lana will work at Louis's company later, according to Lune's wishes. And Louis too, Lana agreed. Can you guys come to our family dinner later? Coincidentally, family, my uncle will have dinner together. And I want you to come, said Louis before he left the apartment. Okay then. We will come, answered Anthony. Later our family driver will pick you up here. Be ready at 8 p.m., he said. Louis again. Okay, Louis. Thank you for everything, said Lord. Mommy doesn't want to stay at our mansion? Lune asked. No, darling. Tomorrow morning, we have to go back to Singapore immediately because Daddy has work. Daddy's pretty dense, Lord answered. There's Lana here so you won't be lonely, right? Lord said. I don't need Lana. Just Louis is enough, said LUNE. Louis chuckled at LUNE's words. Lana pouted and hit LUNE lightly on the arm. Watch out. Okay, said Lana. Bye, I'll go first, said LUNE, smiling and kissing her parents and Lana. And they left from there. You don't want to go anywhere today? Louis asked while rubbing LUNE's palm. Louis's left hand remained on the steering wheel. No, I want to just be at the mansion with you, answered LUNE. Making love all day? Louis asked. Ooh. I think I have to buy strong medicine to balance you out, replied LUNE. Louis chuckled. You're still young and your stamina should be better than mine, said Louis. Drive your car, ordered LUNE. Almost there. Be patient, said Louis. Get out of the way right now. This is an order, said LUNE. What's wrong? Are you angry? Louis asked, stopping his car on the side of a quiet road because that was the entrance to Louis's mansion. LUNE then turned off the car engine and moved Louis's chair back and climbed upstairs, the man's lap. Wait, you want to do it here? Louis asked. Looks like fun. Haven't I said this before? And I want to. Make it happen now. Make love in your car, answered LUNE with a face. Naughty. Louis laughed when he heard that and opened LUNE's dress very quickly. Then don't delay. We have to hurry, said Louis, who had already lost his temper. The peak of LUNE's chest and made the woman moan loudly. LUNE opened Louis's shirt and let Louis enjoy his bare chest. LUNE unbuttoned Louis's trousers and Louis opened them slightly down. Louis helped LUNE take off her underwear and threw them in the back seat. LUNE's clothes were scattered in the car and now she wasn't wearing anything anymore. Hope no one peeks, said LUNE. Nothing. Because this is my private area, answered Louis, whispering against LUNE's neck. LUNE started to move slowly on Louis's lap and automatically made the sports car move. Oh my. It's like we're riding a toy ride. This car is moving, said LUNE with a small laugh, while still moving over Louis's body. Louis gently patted LUNE's buttocks and helped LUNE move her hips so that he could move faster. They did it quickly because the location situation did not allow it to do it too long. Chapter 58. Louis and LUNE were already at the residence of none other than the River Kingsford family. Uncle Louis. 1. My family is coming, Auntie, said LUNE to Beau, the hostess. Yes, Louis said that earlier, darling. Come on, sit down, replied Beau. Yes, answered LUNE, and then headed towards Paris, who was busy with her 2 toddlers. LUNE carried one of them. LUNE kissed the beautiful girl passionately. His blue eyes made LUNE immediately fall in love with him. You are very beautiful, dear Soraya, said LUNE. If my child was still there, he would probably be 5 years old, muttered LUNE quietly, but Paris heard it. LUNE blinked and Paris rubbed her arm. You can get it again after this. Trust me, said Paris, smiling. LUNE nodded and hugged Soraya. Oh God. Sorry, said LUNE, who then gave Soraya back to Paris. LUNE looked like she was going to cry and she got up from her chair and headed towards the room. Bathe. Louis saw LUNE walking away from the living room and then he followed. What is it? Beau asked. He remembered the baby, answered Paris. I really understand how he feels, said Beau. Louis ran a little when he caught up with LUNE. Then he grabbed LUNE and the woman's hands, turned to face him. LUNE seemed to be crying and Louis cupped her cheek and wiped her tears. What is it? Louis asked. Did someone hurt you? He asked again. Then LUNE hugged Louis and the man rubbed his back. Louis didn't ask any more questions and waited for LUNE to say what he was worried about. After calming down a bit, LUNE finally let go of his hug and Louis looked into his eyes. which is still wet. Louis kissed his lips, and Lune looked up at him. What is it? Louis asked again. I just thought about my baby, said Lune. Then Louis immediately hugged Lune. Sorry, said Louis. No, it's not your fault. We can make it again. Right? Said Lune. Do you want to just go home? I know you're in an uncomfortable mood because of this, said Louis. No, I'm fine. You and my family are here. Let's go out, answered Lune, and Louis let go of her hug and kissed her lips again. Love you, said Louis. I love you too, said Lune, smiling. Then they both returned to the living room. Coinciding with that, the Lune family, come, Mom, Dad, said Lune, greeting his parents who had just arrived. Hello, darling. I hope we're not late, said Anthony. No, dinner hasn't started yet, said Lune, and Beau came over to them and introduced himself to them. A very big family, said Anthony when introducing his son and their wife. There are some who aren't married yet. Let's go to the back, said Beau. Then they headed to the back veranda while Lune looked for Lana, who was invisible, with his parents. Where's Lana, Mom? Lune asked. He's still receiving calls from Sasha, answered Lourdes. Then from behind Lana was seen running a little, and Lune saw her. That's it, said Lune. Sorry, I was a little busy with my work earlier, Lana said to Lune. All the Kingsford family members had headed to the back veranda where they were eating. The evening will be held there because there are quite a lot of members this time. Lana and Lune walked behind their two people with Louis too. Chapter 59. Lune took Lana to the back veranda. All the Kingsford family seemed to have taken their seats. Lune and his family along with Louis arrived last and sat in one row of chairs. The same. Lana sat next to Lord and Lune, flanked by Louis and Anthony, the father. A man sitting across from the chair seemed to look at Lana sharply as Lune introduces Lana to the Kingsford family. This is Lana, my most annoying sister, said Lune, who was greeted with laughter by the others. Lana stood up and looked down. Greetings to meet you all. I hope my little brother doesn't cause problems in the family. You guys are big, replied Lana, and Lune lightly hit his older brother's arm. Beau chuckled and greeted Lana. Because we have a lot of family members, so you can get to know them later. We eat first now, said Beau. Lana and Lune nodded and sat back down. Then Lana's eyes fixated on a figure, the man who looked at him sharply, who was sitting in the opposite corner. Lana's smile faded and her face became stiff. Lana then looked down and started eating the food that had been prepared in front of her. Everyone seemed to be chatting happily except Lana, who suddenly fell silent when she saw the man look at it sharp. An hour passed, until finally they finished dinner. Several members of the Kingsford family had gathered in the park and others still is on the back veranda. Lana then stood up and headed towards Lord. Mom, I'm going to the bathroom first, whispered Lana, and Lord nodded. Lana asks Beau where the bathroom is and he goes there alone. Lana entered the main building of the mansion and walked down a long hallway. She walked quickly because she didn't want him to see her again. When she was about to enter the bathroom, Lana's hand was pulled by an unfamiliar man's hand. Another man was looking at him earlier. Lana looked at the man and they looked at each other. I never thought we would meet again after almost 6 years of you leaving me, baby, said Adrian. We've broken up, Adrian. And I'm not leaving you, said Lana. You left me, and you only broke up with me via text message. That's right, amazing, answered Adrian. Lana gulped, because she had never seen Adrian's anger in his sharp eyes. That We just started dating and I think our relationship is just casual and not too deep. I didn't even know that you were the Kingsford family, said Lana, and now you know, right? So you wanted to tease me again when you found out that I was Kingsford family? Asked Adrian sarcastically. Lana smiled sarcastically. Absolutely not. Let go of my hand. I feel like I have no problem with you. We broke up unilaterally, and that was all my fault. Come on. You can't be that serious, right? Said Lana. Are you playing with me, Lana? It's like you don't think about me at all. Do I, just a toy for you? Adrian said, annoyed. We've slept together even though we've only been dating for a few months, and you think that's normal? But not for me, said Adrian. Then what do you want? Let's go back to dating? Is that so? Lana asked. You don't feel guilty at all, apparently. And that really makes me disappointed, Adrian answered. My family is the most important thing to me. So you weren't my main priority at that time. Sorry if I hurt you, said Lana. Chapter 60. Then Adrian let go of Lana's hand. He turned to leave Lana because he felt Lana didn't take him seriously at all in the first place, and Adrian was very disappointed with Lana's attitude. He hopes not to meet him again, Lana, after this. Sorry, whispered Lana, seeing Adrian leave. Lana left Adrian because LUNE was in a coma at that time. His father told him to stop going to college because they are moving to another country. Lana dumped Adrian because she didn't want to have fun over suffering. His family was at its lowest point at that time. Lana loves Adrian? Yes, of course. That's because Adrian was the first man to do it, touch it, and seeing Adrian again made Lana dream again. But Lana was aware that Adrian definitely had a new girlfriend because they had been together for more than 5 years. Lost contact. Lana's hands clenched into fists and then walked into the bathroom. Lana looked in the mirror and looked at her face. Does he have a girlfriend? He muttered in a whisper. Lana shook her head and tried to dismiss the thought. I can't think about it anymore. Haven't I forgotten about it all this time? He muttered again. After a few minutes in the bathroom, Lana came out of there. Lana returned to the back veranda and sat with her parents, who were sleeping, chatting with Beau and River Kingsford, the owners of the mansion. Lana's eyes scanned the people there and didn't see Adrian anymore. Lana, thinking maybe Adrian was still very angry with him. Is he still not over me? Should I chase him again? Lana thought, pensive. Lana. Lord had been calling while patting Lana's thigh. Yes, Mom? Lana asked, waking up from her reverie. Mrs. Kingsford asked you, replied Lord. Yes, Auntie? Sorry, I was thinking about my work, said Lana, looking at Beau. Your mother said you'd be staying in New York for 2 months, and you don't have a place yet. Stay temporarily. So stay here while accompanying me. I'm alone here, because all my sons live alone, said Beau. That's a good idea, Lana. You can stay here. So Daddy will calm down a bit, leaving you here for 2 months, because Sasha will be home in 2 weeks. Anthony said, I'll just rent an apartment, Dad. The one near my office. So I can, on foot, because I don't have a car here, answered Lana. You can use our car and driver. Besides, the driver's job here is only to serve me, just. We're family now, so it wouldn't be good if you refused my help, Beau said. Lana looked at Lord and Anthony. Both parents nodded as if, hopes that Lana will follow Beau's proposal. Lana bit her lip because she was still confused about this. So Auntie is only with Uncle River? Lana asked. Yes, just the two of us. And also a few servants, answered River. Don't be shy with us, Lana. Just think of me as your mother. You are Lune's older sister. And I already consider Lune like my own daughter, Bo explained. Okay, Lana answered a little heavily. He hoped that Adrian would not often go to his parents' house and not arrive, meet him again. Anthony and the others smiled with relief when they heard Lana's agreement. Thank you, Lana. At least Auntie has someone to chat with for the past 2 months, said Bo. Lana nodded and smiled even though her heart still felt awkward. Chapter 61. So you're going to live with Aunt Bo? Asked Lune in the car while driving. Return to the mansion. Yes, Mom and Dad insisted. I couldn't refuse, Lana answered resignedly. Isn't that better than having to look for a rental apartment? Louis asked. Yes, what Louis said is right, Lana. You will be more comfortable living with Auntie, Bo, said Lune. I prefer to stay alone, Lune. Besides, I don't know them that well. It makes me awkward, replied Lana. They will make you comfortable, Lana. Trust me, said Louis. Yes, that's right, said Lune, nodding. Louis turned to Lune and smiled at her. Kiss me, said Louis. Hey, I'm here, Lana protested. Why? Troubled, said Lune and kissed Louis's lips, who was driving. Lish, I should have gone home with Mommy earlier, said Lana. You have different goals. Mommy and Daddy will go straight back to Singapore. And you will stay here temporarily, my annoying brother, said Lune with a sullen face. You don't have a girlfriend, Lana? Louis asked. No, I was too busy taking care of this little girl that I forgot to date, said Lana, which made Louis laugh. Thank you, sweetie, said Lune with an annoying smile. Do I need to find a way to atone for my suffering caused by my actions? Lune said again, tisk. Lana chuckled and pouted while pinching Lune's arm. Tonight, Lana will sleep at Louis's mansion, and tomorrow she will stay at Bo's mansion. Kingsford. In fact, Lana could have been alone in Louis and Lune's mansion for the previous 2 weeks. They went to England, but he doesn't want to be a mosquito repellent for the couple who is in love. The two of them were always making out until they didn't know where they were. And Lana didn't want to suddenly see Lune and Louis make love anywhere in the mansion. Upon arrival at the mansion, Lana slept in the guest room downstairs. Meanwhile, Lune and Louis slept upstairs. Good night, said Lune to Lana. Then Lana went into her room and immediately rested. In contrast to Louis and Lune, who immediately made out in their room, Louis locked the door to their room and kissed Lune wildly on the lips. The man immediately took off Lune's clothes by lifting Lune's hands up. Lune chuckled and cupped Louis's jaw with his hand. How can Claire not be crazy about you? You are really very charming. And you are mine, said Lune, who then kissed Louis's lips again. Why is that name always mentioned? Louis whispered as he kissed Lune's neck. I'll keep talking about it until I completely forget about it, answered Lune. Boo. You're scary, baby, said Louis and lifted Lune's body up to her feet. The woman wrapped around his waist. Lune wasn't wearing anything anymore, while Louis was still wearing his trousers. It's going to be a long night for us, said Louis, smiling through his lips. Devouring the top of Lune's chest without mercy. I'm ready to accompany you all night, answered Lune, ruffling his hair. Louis when the man was still playing in his chest area. HMMMPPPHH. I love your smell, said Louis, kissing Lune's skin. I love your sexy butt, continued Louis while squeezing Lune's firm buttocks. I love you big, said Louis again, then kissed the top of the woman's chest. And I love this thing, said Louis, who started kissing Lune's groin area. Lune chuckled, and a sexy moan came from her lips. Then their hot love scene happened again, which they don't always do, every day. Chapter 62. Louis and I will take you to Auntie Beau's mansion after this, said Lune. Okay, answered Lana while chewing her breakfast. Aren't you working today, Lana? Lune asked. No. The company gave me 3 days to clean up, answered Lana. Then Louis seemed to have just come from his office. Hey, weren't you waiting for me? Louis asked. I'm very hungry. Sorry, honey, answered Lune. Then Louis kissed Lune's lips and sat beside her. Lune and Louis's faces radiated happiness. Lana was happy to see that. He really regrets separating these two people who love each other, because he doesn't really understand Lune and Louis's relationship at that time, after eating breakfast together. The three of them left the mansion and headed for the car. From behind a bush near the park, Lana saw a leg stretched out near a tree branch. Lana, who was walking some distance behind Lune, seemed to be following Lune at a trot, because he felt a bad feeling. Lune, watch out! Lana shouted when someone came from behind the big plant, attacked Lune with the knife in his hand. Lana pushed the person so hard that he fell too. The knife hit Lana's hand, causing fresh blood to flow from her right hand. Lana, shouted Lune, approaching Lana as well as Louis. Lana uncovered the face of the person who was going to attack Lune. Claire? Lana said, and Lune quickly dragged Claire's feet so as not to hurt Lana. Louis took the knife in Claire's hand and Lune immediately locked Claire's body. You haven't finished playing with me yet, huh? Lune shouted emotionally and banged Claire's head to the ground. Louis called security and told them to take Claire to the police station because of him. Want to process it legally, Louis. Please listen to me first. I love you, Louis. Claire shouted when security took him out of the gate. He's really crazy, said Lune as he helped Lana stand up. We'll take Lana to the hospital, said Lune again. Come on quickly, said Louis, and Lune took off his jacket and bandaged the wound on his hand, Lana, so that the blood on Lana's hands doesn't flow anymore. They then went to the nearest hospital. You'll see. I'll repay you many times over, Claire, muttered Lune angrily, hugged Lana. Lune, don't get emotional just because of this, replied Lana. Just what you said? Look at your hands. And he wanted to attack me, Lana. Lune snapped, annoyed because Lana considered this a trivial matter. Shut up, my hand really hurts, said Lana. See? And you said earlier that this was just, answered Lune emotionally. Not long after, they arrived at the hospital and went straight down to the room. Emergency. Lana was taken into a room while Lune and Louis waited in front. He's okay. Calm down, said Louis to calm Lune, who had been pacing around. Mander, I can't stay calm. I want that woman to be punished as severely as possible, said Lune emotionally. Louis hugged Lune so that his wife would be a little calmer. Yes, he won't be able to get away with it now because his actions violated the law, he said. Louis, I actually want to use the law of the jungle to get revenge. I'm really annoyed, Louis, said Lune, still filled with emotion. Chapter 63. Louis's cell phone vibrated while he was waiting for Lana, who was still being treated by the doctor. Louis answered the phone. Hello, Auntie, said Louis. Did you bring Lana here, Louis? Beau asked from across the phone. Yes, we were about to leave. But an incident happened. Lana's hand was injured because, Claire, answered Louis. What? Then how is Lana now? Bo asked worriedly. He's still in the hands of a doctor. The wound on his hand was stitched, because it was hit by a knife, answered Louis. Which hospital are you at? Auntie will follow you there, said Bo. At Mount Sinai, Louis answered. Okay, Auntie will be there right now. Bo answered and hung up the phone. What is it? River asked Bo. Lana was attacked by Claire and her hand was injured and had to be stitched. Oh God, why is this getting more complicated? Bo said, You want to go there, honey? River asked, Yes, can you take me? Then you can go straight to the company, answered Bo. Yes, okay. I'll look at it for a moment, said River, who then left the chair. Then River and Bo came out of the mansion. They went straight to the hospital where they were. Lana is dealt with. Upon arrival at the hospital, Bo and River immediately went to the emergency room. They see LUNE and Louis sat at the front of the room. How is the condition? Bo asked. LUNE stood up and Bo hugged her. He's still being treated by a doctor, Auntie, said LUNE. Bo rubbed LUNE's back, and the knife almost hit his veins, continued LUNE, who then shed tears, because he had been holding it in for a long time. Oh my God, said Bo, and let go of his hug. Is the target LUNE, Louis? River asked. Yes, and Lana pushed him until the knife tore his hand, answered Louis. Oh my God, I hope you take firm action because this has gone too far, Louis, said Bo. Yes, Auntie. I asked Max to take care of it, answered Louis. Hope he's okay, said Bo. LUNE nodded and they sat back in the waiting chairs. An hour and a half later Lana was moved to the treatment room. Louis, LUNE. Bo and River also entered Lana's treatment room. Accompany him. Lana was still conscious and looked at the 4 people accompanying her. Hey, are you crying? Lana asked LUNE when she saw her little sister's puffy eyes. I will really repay you, said LUNE. What are you feeling right now? Bo asked Lana. It hurts and hurts, Lana answered honestly. Don't worry. We will look after you until you recover, said Bo, rubbing his back. Lana's hand. Sorry to bother you, Auntie, said Lana. No, darling. You're not a bother at all. LUNE is our family and that means something. You're part of our family too, replied Bo. I called Mr. Silva that you quit his company. You can't. Protesting my actions because you can't work with an injured hand like that, LUNE said. I've guaranteed you a job at my company, Lana. So don't worry, that problem, said Louis. Thank you, Louis. So for a while I will be unemployed, asked Lana. Yes, like me, said LUNE. Everyone seemed to be smiling and a little relieved that Lana's condition had improved. You just stay with me, said LUNE. No, LUNE. Just let Lana stay with Auntie. Auntie has more experience looking after her and caring for the sick. You can visit Auntie's mansion any time, said Bo. Yes, that's better, answered Louis. Okay, what's important to me is that Lana can get better again, answered LUNE. I'll get better as soon as possible, and you can visit me again after that, said Lana. Chapter 64. River returns to the company. While Bo is still at the hospital looking after Lana, Lana feels uncomfortable because Bo is taking special care of her. When can I come home from the hospital, LUNE? Lana asked. Tomorrow, answered LUNE, who sat leaning against Louis's chest on the long sofa. You didn't tell Mom and Dad this, did you? Lana asked again. Yeah, I don't want to worry them either, answered LUNE. They are quite traumatized by what happened to you before. So I'm afraid of them. I'll be in shock again, said Lana. Yes, I know that, said LUNE. Hearing this made Louis hug LUNE tighter and kiss the top of her head. Thea only told me a little about the incident. I want to know what the accident was, what LUNE experienced at that time, asked Bo. I overtook a truck at high speed and it turned out there was a truck in front of me. Because in my mind at that time, I wanted to meet Louis as soon as possible. And Claire said that Louis would leave me abroad, answered LUNE quietly, and Louis tightened his embrace even more. Oh God. That was terrible, said Bo. Yes, and until now I don't dare to drive a car anymore. I'm quite traumatized by that, LUNE continued, and I won't let you drive anymore. You always have to come with me, anywhere, said Louis. LUNE turned to Louis and kissed him on the lips. Your story is really dramatic. Almost like Max and Paris. We think Paris has died and Max felt guilty for years because of it. The difference is, Paris is very different, hated Max, and was even traumatized by seeing Max. While you still love him very much, Louis. At least Louis won't have too much trouble winning your heart back, said Bo. Actually, I want to torture him first, Auntie. But I can't do that to him, said LUNE, and Louis held LUNE's cheek and kissed her lips again. You can't hate me, said Louis. Is this a curse or a blessing? LUNE said that made Bo and Louis chuckle. Lana felt happy again seeing LUNE and Louis. He hoped LUNE and Louis would, always together and inseparable. Check. Adrian was seen entering the treatment room. Adrian? What's wrong? Bo asked, seeing his sixth son coming. You are okay? Asked Adrian, who couldn't hide his worry. And the man didn't even answer Mommy's question. LUNE, Louis, and Bo both frowned in surprise. Adrian's unusual attitude. We met last night. Maybe that's why he visited me, Lana explained. Adrian approached Lana and examined her hands. What do you feel? Adrian asked. The three spectators were still looking in surprise at Adrian, who was so attentive to Lana. Of course it hurts, answered Lana. Louis, I think you should immediately throw Claire into the forest. That would be better than, he's in prison, said Adrian, who now turned to Louis. I agree with your idea, said LUNE, raising both thumbs at Adrian. Bo chuckled at that. Adrian, that's not funny, muttered Lana quietly. I'm not joking. The Kingsford family is used to doing that. Our enemies, answered Adrian, who turned back to Lana. Chapter 65. You guys knew each other before? LUNE asked Lana and Adrian. No, answered Lana. Yes, answered Adrian at the same time. Hey, you guys make me curious. Adrian, did you know Lana before? LUNE asked. No, LUNE, said Lana. Adrian looked at Lana and looked at her disappointed. I didn't ask you, Lana, said LUNE. Yes, we didn't know each other before and only met last night, answered Adrian. So you like him so much that you came here straight away? Bo asked. Yeah, is it wrong? Adrian asked, trying to act relaxed. Your reputation is quite bad, Adrian. You're a playboy. I'll tell Lana to think far to accept you. Isn't that right, Auntie? LUNE said to Bo. Yeah, he's quite naughty and annoying, Lana. Be careful if he seduces you because he already has. Many women are victims, said Bo. So you're a female player, Adrian? Lana asked with narrowed eyes. It's because of you, thought Adrian. That's quite common for men, Adrian answered and sat in the chair after Lana. Hey, Louis isn't like that, said LUNE, not accepting it. Louis just laughed a little at that. You haven't eaten since earlier. Let's eat first, said Louis. I forgot that I haven't eaten, said LUNE. We'll eat first. We'll come back later, said Louis. Okay, Auntie will wait here for Lana. Don't worry, replied Bo. LUNE nodded and then left Lana's treatment room. A few minutes after LUNE was gone, Bo's cell phone rang and he immediately picked it up. Hello, darling. What's wrong? Bo asked someone on the other end of the phone. Mom, can you go to the mansion? I need Mommy's help, said Paris from across telephone. Okay, Mommy will be there in a moment, answered Bo. Okay, Mom. Thank you, said Paris and closed her cell phone. What's wrong, Mom? Adrian asked. Mommy is going to Max's mansion. You take Mommy's place here first, okay? Bo replied, That's not necessary, Auntie. There are lots of nurses here, said Lana, who was avoiding being alone with Adrian. Go, Mom. I'll look after him, answered Adrian. Calm down. Lana. He won't dare do anything to you. Don't be afraid of men, look at this, okay? Bo said. Lana just nodded in resignation. Then Bo kissed Lana on both cheeks and left the room to go to the Paris mansion. As Bo left, Adrian looked at Lana. You hate me? Adrian asked. No, answered Lana. I'm going to sleep, said Lana, avoiding conversation with Adrian. Then Adrian sat on the edge of Lana's bed and looked at her face more closely. Don't avoid our problems, said Adrian. You don't think about me at all, by pretending not to recognize me. What do you mean, do that to me? Asked Adrian. Problems? We don't have any more problems, Adrian, said Lana. If we didn't have a problem, you should have told them the truth earlier. Then, why are you lying? That means you still have problems with me, said Adrian. I just don't want to be bombarded with lots of questions from LUNE and your mother. Just us, who knows, answered Lana. You really are very selfish. Have you ever thought about my feelings, Lana? Once, just. I've been chasing you for a long time and you haven't done anything at all to maintain our relationship. Don't you love me at all? A little. Just. Doesn't that feeling exist at all? Asked Adrian. Chapter 66. I already know about LUNE from Mommy. And I know for sure that's your reason. Leave me first. And I'm disappointed in you because you didn't tell me that. You don't share your burdens with me, and that makes me think that you don't. Be serious with me, continued Adrian. Then what do you want now? You want me to make amends to you? Lana asked. I want us to start from the beginning. You know, I really don't like beating around the bush, and that's it, my wish. I still like you. Even if you already have a lover now, it's me. I will try to break up your relationship, answered Adrian. Lana frowned. You're a playboy. That's what Aunt Bo said to me. Can you say that? Can you believe it? Lana said. Can we not discuss that? This is about us and not about anyone else, answered Adrian. You still like me? Adrian asked Lana. Lana didn't answer directly. I asked you a question. Answer me, said Adrian. Lana lowered her head and avoided Adrian's gaze. Then Adrian held her chin and kissed her lips slowly. A kiss is like a flow, electricity in Lana's body, and Lana didn't expect that Adrian would still have such a big effect on her, especially his touch. I'll help you answer my question, whispered Adrian. I can't believe you still like me. You've been fooling around with lots of women for the past 5 years, right? Lana finally said. If you liked me, you should have looked harder for me. But you didn't do that, Lana continued. Yes, you're right. I should have used my abilities to search for you and fate. Our relationship won't be like Louis and Lune's, answered Adrian. Then Adrian took Lana's left hand and kissed the back of her hand. So it's not my fault, said Lana. Okay, this is my fault and you never did anything wrong. So, said Adrian from earlier, waiting for Lana's answer. I'll think about it, Lana finally answered. What? What do you have to think about again? Adrian replied, I can't just take you back. It's been 5 years, and it could be you, already changed. What if suddenly a woman becomes pregnant with your child, said Lana, made Adrian surprised, and then laughed. You still don't believe me? Adrian asked. Lana nodded and looked down again. Okay, fine. We'll start over from the beginning and I'll chase you again, said Adrian. Lana looked at Adrian. He looked into the handsome man's eyes and he saw sincerity there. What if I leave you again because of something? Lana asked. I won't let that happen, said Adrian. Then Lana's face looked a little pained and Adrian saw it. Does your hand hurt? Adrian asked. That knife almost cut my veins. Lana answered and then leaned back, head to the pillow. I'm really going to make a calculation with that woman. She's your best friend, you've told me before, haven't you? Adrian said. Helping Lana lie down. No need to discuss it. I really hate it now, said Lana. When can you go home? Adrian asked. Tomorrow, Lana answered softly as she closed her eyes. Adrian kissed Lana's lips without permission. I still haven't accepted you, Adrian, said Lana. I can't just leave him idle, answered Adrian. Adrian kissed Lana's lips again. Even this time, Adrian also licked him. Adrian. Please. Lana protested with an annoyed face. Adrian actually kissed Lana's lips more and more insistently. Chapter 67. Lana hit Adrian's arm. Don't disturb me, said Lana. I will always bother you, said Adrian. I haven't accepted you yet, so don't kiss me carelessly, said Lana. It's not Adrian if he obeys an order. The man is now kissing her face. Beautiful Lana, Adrian. Lana shouted while holding back her loud voice. Ahem. A doctor came into the room and Adrian turned to the beautiful doctor. Hi, Leska. You on duty today? Adrian asked. Yes, Thor told me about this incident, so I took the time to see the situation, answered Leska. Can Lana come home now? Adrian asked. I'll check first, answered Leska, and Lana looked at the beautiful doctor. My husband is her relative. So you don't need to worry, said Leska when Lana looked on. Continue towards it, he's a playboy. So you have to be wary of him, said Leska. Why are you inciting it even more, Leska? Adrian replied. To make him alert, Leska answered lightly. Oh, thank you, said Adrian with a frown. Yes, you're right, Lana said finally. Leska smiled and saw the condition of Lana's hand where the wound was swollen. Your hand is still swollen. So I think you should just go home tomorrow, said Leska. Finally, Lana nodded and Adrian was on Lana's left. If there's a problem, just call me, said Leska to Adrian. I'll just contact another doctor. You're annoying, answered Adrian. Just a few days ago, I saw you with another woman at Robert's family resort, and now you're seducing Lana? Leska replied. Lana narrowed her eyes at Adrian. Oh God. Come out when you're finished, doctor. Please. You're making it worse, complicated, said Adrian. Leska laughed a little. I like seeing your sad face, said Leska, and then left. Just after leaving the room, Lana looked at Adrian. I think I have to really think about it very carefully, said Lana. Yes, please. But whatever your decision, I will always follow you. Adrian answered. No care. You will live in Mommy's mansion, right? So I will live there too, continued. Adrian sat back down on the edge of Lana's bed. There's a chair over there, and you can sit there, Adrian, said Lana. I prefer here because it's easier to kiss you, answered Adrian, getting bolder, and didn't care about Lana's rejection, and Lana couldn't do anything about that stubborn man. Lune and Louis returned to the hospital as evening approached. They brought several kinds of food for Adrian and Lana. Why are you sitting there, Adrian? You want to tease my sister? Lune asked. Yes, I'm chasing him. This is my chance because he won't be able to run, answered Adrian. Louis laughed softly. I'll keep an eye on you. Your track record is bad, Adrian, said Lune. I can handle it, Lune, said Lana. Are you sure? He has a lot of black records with women. That's what I heard, said Lune. Adrian just shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care about Lune's warning. Do you want to eat? I'll feed you if you want, said Adrian. No, answered Lana. I'll feed him, said Lune, walking closer to Lana. You're just being a nuisance. Sit there, Lune said to Adrian. Louis, your wife is really annoying, said Adrian. Sit here with me, or he'll kick you later, said Louis. Chapter 68. Because she hadn't slept all day, Lana finally fell asleep soundly and Adrian was still waiting, faithfully there. Go home. I'll look after him, said Adrian. I don't believe you. What if you do something to Lana? Lune replied. Oh God, I love him so I won't do anything to him, answered Adrian. Finally, you already loved him overnight? That's true. It's very visible, your playboyness, answered Lune. Huffed. Look, Lana and I were dating 6 years ago, when she was studying at here. Then he just left me, and broke up with me just by a text message. I was dumped by Lana. So I wasn't the one who dumped him. And I just found out, yesterday, that Lana was your sister, and that was the reason she left me. Said Adrian. Finally said the truth. You guys separated because of me? Lune asked. Indirectly, yes, we separated because of the accident that left you in a coma. Focus, Lana and your parents were just you then. And he didn't tell me this, answered Adrian. Sorry, but I have to tell you this, Lune. I don't blame you for that, all of this is fate. And my focus right now is back to Lana. That's all I want, continued Adrian. You really love Lana? Then why do you like playing with women just because? Disappointed in Lana, said Lune. Okay, I was wrong and I'm sorry about that. But it would have been easier for me if I had, just playing around with women and not being serious with them. I won't do it, same thing with Louis. He is even engaged to be married to Claire. Meanwhile, I just play around with those women, said Adrian. Yes, you're right, Lune finally answered and looked at Louis. Your mistake was more fatal than Adrian's, honey. You were in a relationship with Claire, even getting married. Meanwhile, Adrian doesn't, said Lune, looking sharply at Louis. Adrian, you. Louis growled and Adrian smiled smugly as if he was happy to see Lune, now turning his emotions to Louis. We're going home now, Lune said to Louis. Okay, answered Louis and put his arm around Lune's shoulder. Then Lune brushed Louis's hand off his shoulder. Louis turned to Adrian, who was still. Smile, you will die, Louis whispered to Adrian. Have fun, my dear cousin, replied Adrian, waving his hand. Lune just remained silent in the car while they were on their way to the mansion. Are you mad at me? Louis asked, trying to be patient with Lune's current mood. Bad because of Adrian earlier. No. Don't talk to me yet. I'm not angry with you. Just a little annoyed, remembering that you had a serious relationship with Claire while I was lying in a coma. That hurt me, answered Lune quietly. Sorry if it always hurts you every time you remember it, said Louis and took Lune's hand and kissed it. Lune just nodded and Louis didn't say anything else to calm Lune's mood. Getting worse. Arriving at the mansion, Louise hugged Lune when they were in the room. Want to dance with me? We often did it in the past using music on cell phone, Louis said softly. Lune smiled in the crook of Louis's neck. Thank you. I love you very much, whispered Lune. Chapter 69. Good morning. Adrian said right in front of Lana's face while kissing her lips. Lana immediately covered her lips with her hand, but she forgot her right hand was sick and it made him groan. Look what you did to your own hands. It hurts, doesn't it? Adrian said, then gently rubbed Lana's arm. And that's because of you, TSK, said Lana, who still felt pain in her hand. Okay, that's my fault. To make up for it, I will serve you wholeheartedly, said Adrian. A few minutes later, Davian and Xavian, Adrian's older brother, appeared to enter the room. Maintenance. Hello, said the twins in unison. Adrian turned towards the door. Wait, what are you doing here? Adrian asked. We want to see your disgusting face, because you fell in love, Davian answered with his gentle smile. Louis really can't keep his mouth shut, said Adrian. Actually, Lune told us, said Xavian with his usual flat face. Lana looked at the two handsome men with the same faces. We're his brothers. Don't be awkward with us, said Davian. Lana just smiled and nodded. I've seen you before. You used to often stay at Adrian's apartment, didn't you? Davian asked again. Lana's face turned red because of that. Go away, sis. You're just disturbing me, said Adrian. We are waiting for Mommy. After this, Mommy will come here to take Lana home, answered Xavian, who was now sitting on the sofa. You want to eat? Adrian asked Lana without paying attention to his two older brothers, seemed to be paying attention to his movements. I can eat myself, Lana answered. Your hand is injured. Tell me, how are you going to eat? Using your hand, your left? Asked Adrian. Adrian can feed you, Lana. Give him permission. Look at his pathetic face. Oh, that's a shame, said Davian, and Xavian just smiled. Adrian ignored Davian's teasing. Then the man took the food from the nightstand and fed a spoonful of food into Lana's mouth. Open your mouth or my lips will open it, said Adrian. Be careful, Lana. Her mouth is very sweet to all women, said Davian again. Oh God. My family really sucks, said Adrian, who was starting to get stressed. His brother's arrival. Check. Morning. Where's Lana? Said Zay, who was none other than Xavian's wife. Hey, what is this? Is this a family reunion? Adrian asked. Morning, shouted another man behind Zay, namely Lucian. Oh my God. I'm going crazy because of your behavior. Lucian, I'll answer you later, he said. Adrian. TSK, we didn't come here to meet you, but to meet Lana, said Zay, casually, approached Lana. Hi, Lana. I'm Zay. I'm Xavier's wife. You see those twin men? My husband, long hair and no smile, said Zay with a big smile. We met yesterday at dinner. It's just that we didn't have time to pay attention to you. Because I'm busy with the children, continued Zay. Yes, I saw you yesterday. Nice to know you, Zay, said Lana kindly. Then Zay whispered into Lana's ear, don't fall into his charm too easily. You have to be strong and never give up easily. Give him a little lesson. All this time, he's been a very, very playboy, whispered Zay. Zay. Oh. I'm going to go crazy after this, said Adrian because he felt attacked, repeatedly by his own family. Lucian actually laughed out loud seeing Adrian's annoyance. Chapter 70. Zay took the plate from Adrian's hand and started feeding Lana. Thank you, said Lana. Hopefully your wounds heal quickly. And the perpetrator gets the punishment they deserve, he said. Zay. Lana just nodded and went back to chewing. Lana felt awkward about this, but in her heart she was happy to see him. Adrian's family looks united together. Not long after that, Mrs. Kingsford arrived. How are you, darling? Beau asked Lana, who was still being fed by Zay. Still like yesterday, Auntie, answered Lana. Does our arrival bother you? Beau asked. Yes, answered Adrian. No, said Lana at the same time. Beau looked at Adrian. I won't ask anything because that's between the two of you. You'll go home later, mansion with me. But I will go to the company with Xavier first, because I have something to take care of, Beau said. I'll take him, Mom, said Adrian. Okay, then, replied Beau. Don't take away other people's children, Adrian, said Davian. Hurry up and go, said Adrian. He threw us out, Mom, said Lucian. Then Beau said goodbye to Lana, as did his other children. Huffed. Finally, said Adrian, relieved. You feel relieved now? Lana asked. Yes, answered Adrian. Yes, of course you're relieved, because no one will reveal your bad character anymore, said Lana. Make fun of. I don't have any bad qualities, answered Adrian confidently. Ha, that's very funny, said Lana. Yes, I'm very cute. Thank you, my baby, answered Adrian, smiling and then going, kissed Lana's lips, but Lana's left hand closed and held Adrian's lips, approaching. Lana shook her head and finally Adrian just kissed Lana's palm. You haven't told your parents yet? Adrian asked. No, I won't tell them, Lana answered. Yes, that's better so they don't worry, said Adrian seriously. Lana just nodded and then grimaced again in pain from her hand, hurting again. Do you need to stay here until your wounds get better? Adrian asked. No, I'll just go home. I'm bored of always having to lie down, answered Lana. My apartment is close to this hospital. We'll just stay there temporarily until you recover. I can send a nurse to the apartment, said Adrian. We live together? No way, said Lana. We lived together before. What's wrong with you living with me again now? Especially now that you're injured, said Adrian. It used to be different, said Lana. There's no difference. You and I are still the same, said Adrian. Check. Their conversation was interrupted because the bedroom door opened. Dr. Leska was seen entering with two of her nurses. I'll check your wounds before you go home, Lana, said Leska. Lana nodded, and then the two nurses removed the bandage on Lana's hand to treat the wet wound and also change the bandage. This hurts a little, said Leska quietly and treated it while checking the stitched wound, Lana's hand. Adrian saw this and grabbed Lana's left hand, holding it tightly. Lana averted her gaze from the wound on her hand. Just look at me, whispered Adrian. Can you use anesthesia, Leska? Adrian asked because he couldn't stand the sight of Lana. Seems to be in pain even though Lana is now silent. You think this is surgery? Leska replied, then hurry up. I'm horrified to see your wounds mixed up like that, he said. Adrian, hey, I'm treating it, not stirring it up, answered Leska. Adrian, will you shut up? Said Lana. Okay, answered Adrian while kissing Lana's lips even though there were Leska and the two of them. The nurse. Chapter 71. Do you want to add more time here, Lana? Your wound is really still wet. The injection eased the pain a little, said Leska. Okay then, I'll stay here until I get better. If the pain comes, it really feels like it's piercing my bones, Lana answered. Yes, that's better, said Adrian. I will wait for you until you recover, continued Adrian. Are you unemployed? Lana said sarcastically, I'm the boss. So it's no problem, right? Said Adrian. You're asking the wrong person, Lana, said Leska. Adrian just shrugged his shoulders while looking at Lana. After checking on Lana, Leska left the room, leaving Lana alone with her. Adrian's room. Then Adrian took his cell phone and called his assistant to say he wouldn't come in. Work. Adrian told his assistant to send him an email if there was a problem with his work. After that, Adrian sat back next to Lana. Aren't you bored waiting for me? Go eat. You haven't eaten yet, have you? I don't want to, making you die here for looking after me, said Lana. I already ate before you woke up. So don't worry about me, Adrian answered smiling. I'm not worried about you, said Lana. Yes, yes, yes. You're not worried about me. I know that, said Adrian, smiling again. Then Adrian approached Lana. What? You want to kiss me again? I won't let it, said Lana. Adrian laughed softly and then brought his face closer to Lana's nose. They touched. Adrian rubbed his nose against Lana's sharp nose. I love you, whispered Adrian. Oh yeah? If you love me, you won't change your boyfriend. All men's mouths are the same, Lana answered. You're the one who left me. Don't forget that fact, said Adrian, then kissed Lana on the lips, which was only a few inches from his lips. You're so stubborn. I told you not to kiss me carelessly, said Lana. Be as angry as you like, because I will always do that to you, answered Adrian nonchalantly. Ah yes, I can't wait for your hands to heal so I can touch my body again, he whispered. Adrian teases Lana. It sucks, said Lana. Adrian just smiled and took Lana's cell phone, which was on the table. Adrian gave the cell phone to Lana. So that you don't get bored and don't keep nagging, said Adrian. Lana snickered and pouted, then took her cell phone. Then the woman turned on. His cell phone has been dead since yesterday. Many messages came in on Lana's cell phone, but she couldn't reply because of her hands, still sick. Lana felt very bored and finally put her cell phone back on the pillow. What is it? Asked Adrian, who also put his cell phone away. I'm bored, Lana answered. Want to go out? We can go to the park, said Adrian. Lana finally nodded because she was really bored just being in the room. Adrian then helped Lana get out of bed by carrying her. And Adrian didn't immediately put Lana down, but hugged her first. I miss you, Adrian said softly. Lana looked at Adrian's face, and they stared at each other. Adrian's body fragrance was still the same as before. That means Adrian didn't change anything at all. The smell of perfume from 6 years ago. And Adrian knew that it was Lana's favorite perfume. Adrian then sat on the sofa holding Lana on his lap. Lana didn't deny that either, because in the deepest recesses of her heart, the woman also missed Adrian. Chapter 72. Now Lana and Adrian are in the park. Lana sat in a wheelchair and Adrian pushed him. Then Adrian stopped near a park bench and sat there. Lana looked at the park area where there were also several patients there. Adrian's hand held Lana's hand. "Adrian," called a woman from Adrian's right. The figure of a beautiful woman approached Adrian. Adrian and Lana turned to the woman. Adrian just smiled faintly while the woman was about to kiss Adrian's lips, but Adrian avoided him. "Hey, you're not usually like this," said the woman. Then the woman looked at Lana. "Ah yes, I know why. You have another new woman," said the woman. "We've never had a relationship, so I hope you don't bother me," said Adrian. "So how quickly did you forget that beautiful night?" The woman replied and made Adrian pulled the woman's hand away from Lana. "I've never spent any good nights with you. Don't provoke me, or your career will be ruined," Adrian said to the woman. The woman immediately fell silent and left there. Adrian then returns to Lana. Lana avoided Adrian's gaze. Adrian sat on his knees in front of Lana and held her left hand. "I do know that woman, but we only met at the club. It was a beautiful night. I mean last night when we met at the club and I didn't make love to her," Adrian said, explaining his relationship with the woman even though Lana didn't ask. "I didn't ask," answered Lana. "Yes, I know. I just want you not to misunderstand me, and that woman. She is one actress and good at acting," said Adrian. "I don't care about that," replied Lana. "I want to go back to the room," said Lana. "Are you angry because of that?" Adrian asked. "You and I are no longer related, so I have no right to be angry." "You are related, whoever I am, I don't care," replied Lana. Adrian cupped Lana's cheek. "Sorry," said Adrian. "You didn't do anything wrong, so there's no need to apologize," replied Lana. "I want to go inside, please," said Lana. Then Adrian stood up and took Lana back to her room even though they had just been there. Arrived at the park. "Sorry if this put you in a bad mood," said Adrian again. Lana didn't answer anything. Lana is a fairly mature type of woman and she knows that he had no right to be jealous of the woman because that was not his area. This happened when Lana and Adrian were not in a relationship. So Lana has no right to be angry with what Adrian and that woman had done. Even so, deep inside Lana harbored feelings of jealousy because imagine that Adrian had enjoyed a beautiful evening with that woman. Arriving at the room, Adrian sat Lana back on the bed. "And there it is, there are LUNE and LOUIS. Where have you guys been?" LUNE asked. "Garden." "I'm bored in the room," answered Lana and leaned back on the pillow which was in an elevated position. By Adrian, LUNE saw that Adrian was quite caring and looked after Lana well. "Aren't you working, Adrian?" LUNE asked. "No, I will wait for him until he is allowed to go home," answered Adrian. Then Adrian cupped Lana's cheek again even though LUNE was in front of him. "What's going on? You look like you're seducing Lana." "Have you made a mistake, Adrian?" asked LUNE, who seemed to know that from the slightly sullen look on Lana's face. Chapter 73. Shoo. "Don't disturb us, LUNE," said Adrian. Plaque. LUNE hit Adrian's arm because of his words. "Oh my God. Louis, keep your wife safe," said Adrian. Lana was still expressionless and her mood was still bad. Adrian returned his focus to Lana and cupped her jaw. "I'm sorry. I mean it to you. I've never dated and that's true. I always play around with lots of women. But it's nothing serious at all," he said. "Adrian, I don't mind that. That's your business, replied Lana. That means Lana won't serve you anymore, Adrian. I know her very well. She's angry, said LUNE, interrupting. No, you can't be like that to me. Please, said Adrian to Lana after listening. LUNE said. Lana was still silent. Look. Your history is over. Lana is silent, and that means you no longer have another chance, said LUNE. No, I won't let it happen, said Adrian and kissed Lana's lips. Hey, what did you do to my brother? Said LUNE and grabbed Adrian's hand. I always do this if he's angry with me first, said Adrian. Louis, please take this talkative woman out. I want to talk to Lana, continued Adrian, to Louis. And Louis just shrugged his shoulders and didn't care about Adrian's request. You two are really annoying, said Adrian. You just come out. I want to be with LUNE, said Lana finally. See? He doesn't want to be with you, playboy, said LUNE mockingly. Oh God. Why doesn't anyone support me at all? Said Adrian. Okay, I'll go out. Maybe you need time for this, said Adrian finally, and he kissed Lana's lips again before he left the room. Then Adrian came out and Lana didn't look at the man. What is it? LUNE asked her sister. It's nothing, answered Lana, then closed her eyes. Is there something on your mind, Lana? LUNE asked. Nothing. I just want to rest, answered Lana as she lifted the blanket. LUNE lifted Lana's blanket until it covered half of her body. It doesn't matter if you don't want to tell it. But I think Adrian is serious about you, he said, LUNE to reduce Lana's anxiety a little. Lana didn't answer anything, and she tried to sleep and forget about it. LUNE then sat on the sofa with her husband, Louis. He's in a bad mood, Louis whispered to LUNE. LUNE just nodded and hugged Louis. You met Leska earlier? LUNE asked. Yes. Leska said, Lana will be here in about 4 days waiting for her wound to heal a little, so you don't feel pain anymore, answered Louis. He doesn't want to be in our mansion and wants to stay at Auntie Beau's mansion, said LUNE. Yeah, no problem. Auntie Beau will actually take good care of it. Actually, the apartment, Adrian is close to this hospital and is only 2 blocks away. If Lana is willing, wouldn't it be better to just live in Adrian's apartment? It would be easier to call a doctor, and the nurse is over there, said Louis. They just met and Lana still hasn't fully accepted Adrian. So, I don't think Lana will want to, answered LUNE. Yes, you're right. Lana still doesn't trust Adrian, said Louis. LUNE leaned against Louis's chest and chatted quietly while waiting for Beau to come in a moment. Meanwhile, Adrian apparently went home briefly to his apartment to shower and change clothes, because since yesterday he was in the hospital all day. Chapter 74. That evening, Adrian returned to the hospital. He hoped that Lana's mood would improve and she wouldn't silence Adrian. Check. Adrian opened the bedroom door and saw that Lana was asleep. Earlier, Beau and Louis had contacted him that they had returned to the mansion. Because Lana was already asleep, Adrian closed the door quietly and walked slowly towards the bed. Adrian then climbed into bed very slowly so as not to disturb Lana's sleep. The man lay next to Lana and wrapped his right arm around Lana's stomach. Good night, whispered Adrian. Adrian will sleep in the same bed with Lana because he still really misses her. Lana still avoided him a little and always kept her distance. But Adrian never gave up and was sure he would be able to get Lana's heart back, because he knows that Lana still loves him as much as he does. Lana woke up because of Adrian's movement beside her. What are you doing? Lana asked softly in her hoarse voice. The sofa is too small for my tall body. I'm more comfortable here. Besides, this bed is quite big, Adrian answered quietly. I'm the one who's sick, not you, said Lana, who couldn't let go of Adrian's hand because his right hand hurts and his left hand has an 4-tube. It's no problem, isn't it? Maybe this way you'll recover faster, answered Adrian, who has a million answers and reasons. I won't be able to sleep like this, said Lana again. Then Adrian stroked Lana's hair. I'll lull you to sleep, said Adrian. Lana finally fell silent because there was no point in arguing with Adrian because of Adrian's nature, who has always been dominant and has had his own way since the beginning. Eu amo você. Eu sinto sua falta. Quero estar com você para sempre, said Adrian in a whisper. I love you. I miss you. I want to be with you forever. Does one of your exes speak Portuguese? You speak it quite fluently, Lana said sarcastically. Adrian laughed softly. My friend taught me these words of love. Quillo, Paris' older brother. He's a person, Brazil, answered Adrian. Do you know what that means? Adrian asked. Yes, I have a work friend from Brazil, and he often says that to his girlfriend, said Lana. You learned those words to seduce women? Lana asked. Adrian laughed again. At first, Adrian answered honestly, it's annoying. You really seem to be a female player so willing to learn romantic sayings in other languages, said Lana. No, I was just playing around and it's different from what I said to you, answered Adrian, then kissed Lana's cold red cheek. Adrian, stop it, said Lana. I like your cheeks, which are soft and soft like a baby. Like my nephew, said Adrian, who was still kissing Lana's cheek. Adrian, said Lana, why don't you call me your darling again? Adrian asked with his lips, which was still touching his cheek area. We're no longer in touch, replied Lana. Of course, said Adrian, it's up to you. I don't want to argue with you, said Lana, and then closed his eyes. Good night, baby, said Adrian. Leska will throw you out if you sleep in a patient's bed, said Lana with bright eyes closed. Chapter 75. 3 days passed, and Adrian was still faithfully waiting for Lana at the hospital. Adrian looked after Lana from the afternoon until early morning, and he still accompanied Lana to sleep, bed together, even though Lana objected to that. Meanwhile, Bo and Lune will accompany Lana from morning to evening, so in that gap of time, Adrian took the time to go to his company to stay, can carry out their duties in the company. As morning approached, Lana opened her eyes, and no longer saw Adrian beside her. Not long after, Leska came in with 2 nurses as usual. Are you looking for Adrian? He left early this morning. Looks like there was some sudden business from Uncle River, because last night Auntie Bo said that Lucian was having problems. Someone, said Leska. What is the problem? Lana asked. I don't know. Lucian is a little naughty, and often makes Auntie Bo dizzy, it seems, answered Leska. Like Adrian? He used to be pretty badass too, said Lana. Really? Maybe Lucian studied with Adrian, said Leska, and Lana laughed softly. Then Leska checked Lana's wound and cleaned it and gave her medicine like usually. You can go home today. But you have to keep checking every 3 days, said Leska afterwards. Examine and treat Lana's wounds. Yes, thank you, Leska. Are you staying in Adrian's apartment? Leska asked. No, I'm going to stay with Auntie Bo. Lana answered. Okay then. You'll go home when Auntie Bo comes, said Leska. Thank you, Leska, answered Lana. Then Leska and two nurses came out of the room. A few minutes later, Lana's cell phone rang and she immediately picked it up because of that. A call from his parents. Hello, Mom, said Lana. Hello, darling. How are you? Lord asked. I'm fine, Mom. How are Mommy and Daddy? Lana asked. We're fine, replied Lord. Oh yes, Mommy has something to ask. Mommy met your work friend last night, and he said that you stopped working. Is that true? Asked Lord. Yes, Mom. That's right, and I work at Louis's family company here. Lune and Louis, who forced me, Lana answered with a reasonable answer. Ah, that's how it seems. All right, then. Mommy is already very worried because, think about this. Mommy thinks you have a problem there. Thank goodness there's nothing wrong. Is Lune okay? Asked Lord. Yes, he's very happy and I'm happy to see him, answered Lana. Thank God. And now it's time for you to find your happiness too, darling. You don't. I've been dating while Lune was in a coma, and I think you should start dating too. Do you need Mommy to arrange a blind date with Mommy's friend's child? Asked Lord. What? No, Mom. I don't like things like that. Mommy doesn't need to. Worried about me, Lana answered. Lana and Lord talked for a long time until Lana finally ended the conversation. Because Bo has arrived, you ready? Bo asked. Yes, Auntie. The nurse has removed the 4 tube in my hand, answered Lana smiling. Adrian still has things to do, so you'll just go home with Auntie. Lune will be there later, right at lunchtime, said Bo. Yes, Lune told me yesterday, answered Lana. Then Bo helped Lana get out of bed and then walked out of the room. Lana's condition is much better and only a little pain remains in her hand, whose wound was already starting to dry up. Chapter 76. Upon arrival at the mansion, Bo showed Lana's room on the 2nd floor. It is Adrian's room before Adrian decided to have his own mansion. Rest if you still want to rest, said Bo. Yeah, maybe I'll go to my room first, Auntie. Lana answered smiling. Auntie is usually in the living room or garden if you want to look for Auntie later, he said. Bo, okay, Auntie. Thank you, said Lana. By the way, this is Adrian's room first, said Bo. Lana just nodded and smiled. Then Bo leaves the room and closes back the door. Lana looked around the room and then looked at the work desk. Adrian has a photo there. When he was dating her, Adrian was more often at her apartment than at his parents' mansion. They only dated for less than 6 months because of the process of conquering Lana's heart, quite long at that time. It was a little difficult for Adrian to get Lana's attention, who at that time really wanted it. Focus on college where Lana is a student with a scholarship program, because Lana is smart girl. You could say that his meeting with Adrian was enough to make him take a brave step, until finally making love to the man. Adrian's charm at that time really destroyed the existing defense, guarded it all this time. Meeting Adrian again never crossed his mind at all. She even thought that she would focus on work and be a career woman who didn't think about anything else except for work and family. Lana sat in a chair and looked at several books on Adrian's desk. The book is just a book about business. When he opened the book, there was a photo tucked in. The photo is a photo of Adrian and himself when Lana was 20 years old. Lana, no, I thought Adrian still had the photo, which looked dull. Her smile widened when she saw the photo of herself hugging Adrian, and the photo was taken with Adrian's friend's Polaroid camera when they were on holiday in a mountain villa. After looking at the contents of Adrian's room, Lana changed clothes and then went downstairs, because it was almost approaching lunchtime. When Lana opens the door, Adrian will also enter her room. "Sorry, I couldn't take you earlier," said Adrian, who immediately hugged Lana. I'm with Auntie Beau," answered Lana. "Where are you going?" Adrian asked and continued to hug Lana. "Go downstairs." "Lune will come here for lunch with Louis," answered Lana. Adrian let go of his arms and looked at the watch in his hand. "There are still 2 hours left, and that's still a long time," said Adrian. The man pulled Lana back into his room again and closed the door. "What do you want?" Lana asked. "I'm going to take a shower, and you just wait here for me. Don't go downstairs yet." "You have to wait for me first," Adrian answered and took Lana's hand to the woman, sat back on his bed. "I can wait downstairs, right? Isn't that the same thing?" Lana asked. "Different, because you went alone and left me in the room." Adrian answered. Lana frowned. Adrian took off his clothes in front of Lana and threw them on the floor. "You haven't changed at all," said Lana and took the clothes with her left hand. Adrian smiled and took off all his clothes. "You can open it in the bathroom, Adrian," said Lana with a chuckle. "I deliberately opened it in front of you so you would remember it," answered Adrian smiling. Tengil and the man went into the bathroom. Chapter 77, 6 years ago. Flashback. Adrian, Lana's first meeting. Lana came out of the student dormitory. He seemed to be walking in a hurry because he was almost late for class today. The model student sometimes ran amidst his fast steps. He looked out of breath from running and walking fast. Brack. Suddenly his steps stopped and he bumped into a man who was holding his hot coffee. "Ah!" Lana screamed when the hot coffee hit her pants and book. "Are you okay?" asked the man holding Lana's hand. Lana brushed the hand away and then looked at him. "Look what you did." Lana snapped angrily. "Beautiful," said the man, deviating from the topic. "Hey," Lana said angrily. "I really didn't see you. Do you want compensation?" "I'll give it," answered Adrian, smiling with his chubby face. "TSK, I don't have time to serve someone like you," said Lana, annoyed, and then picked up his wet book. Lana grumbled in annoyance and felt like crying because it was certain that she would be late going to class. Adrian helped take the book and Lana pulled the book as a sign that she didn't want it. Helped. Then the beautiful woman left in front of Adrian. "I'm Adrian." "You?" asked Adrian, who was still following Lana behind him. "Don't follow me." Lana snapped sarcastically. "Wow. I like fierce women like you," teased Adrian, who was now walking beside him. "I said go away or I'll beat you," said Lana irritably. "Woohoo. I really like being beaten by a beautiful woman like you." "Tell me what your name is, beautiful miss," asked Adrian, who was not discouraged from getting to know Lana. Then Lana stopped and pushed Adrian's chest so hard that the man fell over behind because there was not enough preparation. He didn't think the girl in front of him would pushed him like that. Adrian wasn't angry and instead laughed softly. "We'll meet again later, darling. I'll definitely find you and find out your name," shouted Adrian when Lana left in front of him and ran fast. A beautiful, attractive girl. How could I not know there was a treasure on campus? "This?" muttered Adrian. Then Adrian got up and went into his class. Adrian is currently studying for his master's degree at the campus while working at a company. His father, even though his time is not full. Meanwhile, Lana has entered her second year on campus as a student, with a scholarship program. That's why Lana lives in a student dormitory because it is provided free of charge. Although, coming from a wealthy family, Lana continues to live a simple life and does not indulge in extravagance during her time studying in New York. Sorry, I'm late because there was an incident on my way here, Lana said to the lecturer. Sit down, Lana, answered the female lecturer. Thank you. Miss, said Lana and sat in the back seat because of her share. The front is full. Lana then worked on the exam questions that she had to do according to the time specified, determined even though he was quite late. After the exam was over, Lana left the classroom and immediately went home because her thighs were sore, sticky, because of the coffee spill earlier. Hello, Lana Wallace, said a man who suddenly appeared in front of Lana. You again? Lana was annoyed and avoided the man. Adrian followed Lana's steps and walked beside her. Hey, wait. I will compensate you for your losses, said Adrian holding Lana's hand. Lana brushed Adrian's hand away. We don't know each other. So don't follow me, let alone hold my hand, snapped. Lana, this is for you. So you don't need to go home to change your clothes, said Adrian. Cardboard bag containing clothes. No need, Lana answered and walked quickly away from Adrian. Adrian blocked Lana's steps. Lana tries to go through on the right, but Adrian does too. Obstruct. Please, don't bother me. I'm not asking you for any compensation, and please, go, said Lana. You want to be my lover? Adrian asked straight to the point. Lana frowned. You're crazy, said Lana and pushed Adrian's chest back, but Adrian had enough. Prepare for that. Adrian's body didn't waver and actually made Lana step backwards. What do you want? Lana asked. To be your lover, answered Adrian, smiling crookedly. You are crazy, said Lana. Yes, you're right. I'm crazy about you, answered Adrian, who was still smiling, which made Lana want to punch him. I don't have time to serve you, said Lana, but I have plenty of time for you. Adrian answered. Then Lana finally took the cardboard bag so that the problem wouldn't escalate. I will accept this compensation. Now let me go, said Lana. Adrian smiled broadly, and that made him even more handsome. Thank you. We'll meet again later. I'm going to college soon. Bye, my future, he said. Adrian smiled. Then Adrian left there and Lana went to the campus bathroom to put on clothes, which Adrian gave him earlier. Lana didn't want to think about where Adrian got the clothes for her. Lana. Chapter 78. Flashback. After college, Lana walked to her dorm as usual. Lana rarely socializes with her campus friends because she wants to focus on college. The material is enough to drain his brain. Even so, Lana is a friendly person and has no enemies at all, dormitory or on campus. Lana enjoys her life happily even though she never takes part in activities. Have fun with his friends. Even when on holiday, Lana prefers to go home to England rather than go on holiday together. Her friend. From behind, there was the sound of footsteps that sounded like running. Lana automatically looked back because the place was quite quiet. Hey, you really weren't waiting for me, were you? Didn't I send you a message? Asked Adrian breathlessly, who was now in front of Lana. Lana looked at him with a flat look and didn't answer anything. Let's have dinner together, said Adrian, taking Lana's hand. Lana brushed Adrian's hand away. Don't you have any manners? It seems like you really like forcing people. And you think the person you forced will like it? Maybe other women will like it, but not me. Please, do not force me. Don't follow me and look at me. I'm just an ordinary woman who has any allure. Go, Lana said firmly and turned to leave. Adrian laughed a little, and that actually made Lana even more annoyed because it seemed like Adrian didn't pay attention to what he said. Adrian was still walking behind him. I'm also an ordinary man who doesn't have any charm. Do you want to be a lover, this ordinary guy? Because no one wants me. So sad, said Adrian close to his ear. Lana, you playboy, said Lana. I don't have that title, answered Adrian. I will follow you until you accept me, continued Adrian. You'll get bored and just walk away, said Lana, walking faster. No, I will pick you up every day. Drop you off every day and we will chat every day. Then we will eat together every day. Looks like it will. Fun, said Adrian. Lana didn't answer anything and immediately went into her dormitory, leaving Adrian in front alone. You stalker, muttered Lana after closing the door. Then Lana went straight to her room and went back to studying because there would be an exam tomorrow, midterm last day. Lana wants her grades to always be good because with that capital she got a college scholarship, and he will continue his studies to master's level with a scholarship program as well. The next morning, Lana came out of the dormitory and was surprised again when there was this stupid man again. The man was wearing an unbuttoned jeans jacket and a white t-shirt. Underneath, his torn jeans made him look even worse. Good morning, said Adrian with his sweet mouth. Lana couldn't understand the man in front of her. How could that guy be so direct? Liked him at their first meeting, which was like a soap opera drama. Lana ignored the man and walked towards campus. This afternoon, we'll have lunch together in the park. I'll buy a burger and a drink, soda, said Adrian, starting the conversation. Lana remained silent. I already know your class schedule and what times you are free. And what a coincidence, it suits my college schedule, which is almost the same as yours. Oh, thank God, continued Adrian. Lana remained silent until Adrian finally grabbed her hand and forced her to face him. With him, Lana's brown eyes stared closely at Adrian's blue eyes. Chapter 79, You can be friendly to others, then why not me? Adrian asked, his sharp blue eyes. Because you're alpha. You're dominant and seem pushy. I don't like people, something like that, Lana answered honestly. You've only known me a day and come to conclusions like that? Fine, you too, the same, right? That's why you don't like me. You're an alpha female type. You're dominant and stubborn, said Adrian, smiling. Then? What's your problem? I manage myself. So my life is my problem. There's no need to enter it by breaking it open by force, answered Lana. Adrian laughed softly and moved his face closer to Lana's and the woman's. Looked up. I like you, and I'm sure you will be mine soon, said Adrian. Lana didn't say anything because it seemed useless to argue with a man like that. Adrian, let go of my hand. I'll have an exam in a moment, said Lana. Yeah, I know that. I told you I know all your schedules, didn't I? Adrian replied. You're like a stalker, Lana replied. The stalker does not appear in front of you, but follows you from behind and watches you silently, silent. But I didn't, said Adrian, and finally let go of Lana's hand. Bye, my future. I hope your exam is successful, said Adrian with a sweet smile. Lana chuckled and left in front of Adrian. The longer he gets, scarier, muttered Lana, shuddering. Then Lana walked quickly to her class and immediately took a seat because there were 5. In a minute the exam will start. During the day, Lana didn't leave her class because she was too lazy to see Adrian again. Lana? Aren't you coming out? Linda asked. No, I have something to do here, answered Lana. Aren't our classes finished? Linda asked. Yes, but I want to study here for a while, said Lana. Okay, I'll go first, said Linda. Said Lana while nodding. A few minutes later, Adrian entered Lana's class and placed a pack of burgers and a bottle of drink in front of him. You haven't had lunch yet, have you? Eat, I won't bother you, said Adrian, and then turned to leave in front of Lana. Lana looked at Adrian, who was walking away. Lana remained silent until the man disappeared. Behind the door, sorry. I just don't want my focus in college to be distracted by trivial things like this, Lana muttered in a whisper. Then Lana saw the burger and opened it. Lana was indeed very hungry, and that burger, enough to make him gulp. Lana immediately ate the burger with gusto and finished it in an instant. Rumors of Lana and Adrian's closeness seemed to reach most women's ears. Popular on campus called Rosette. The woman seemed to not accept this because she had been rejected outright in the past by Adrian. So that's who Adrian is approaching? Does Adrian have a sore eye? Look, his appearance. Not at all attractive and far beneath me, said the woman, he boasted while looking at Lana, who was walking through the campus park. Maybe Adrian has low taste, said Rosette's female friend. She is beautiful in men's eyes. Look, her face is beautiful with big eyes, sharp nose, lips, sexy. And his body is tall and full. Men really have tastes, said Rosette's male friend, is also next to it. It seems like you're short-sighted too, said Rosette, disapprovingly. You're the one who's jealous, Rosette. No wonder Adrian likes her. That woman is still innocent, it seems like. Why am I only seeing it now? TSK, said the man again. Rosette looked even more annoyed and then got into her car. Chapter 80, Present Time, check. Adrian came out of the bathroom and didn't see Lana in her room. Apparently Lana went downstairs first without waiting for him. It's a trivial thing, but Adrian was a little disappointed with Lana's attitude. After changing clothes, Adrian came out of his room and went downstairs after Lana. Adrian saw Lana sitting chatting with Beau on the back porch. You could see Lana's laughter, which he rarely saw now. He seemed jealous of his mother, who could make Lana laugh while he didn't. Adrian then sat on the veranda sofa and put his arm around Lana's shoulder. Aren't you going back to the office? Beau asked his son. No, I've finished everything, answered Adrian. How is Lucien doing? Beau asked again. It's settled. Aren't we used to dealing with him, Mom? Adrian replied. Mommy will prepare lunch first. Daddy will come to us in a moment. I'm going out of town this afternoon, said Beau. Does Mommy have to come? Adrian asked. Yes, there will be a party there and Daddy wants Mommy to accompany him, answered Beau. Oh yeah, you don't mind if I leave you for a while, right, Lana? Beau asked. Of course not, Auntie. There are lots of people here to accompany me. So don't worry, answered Lana. I will be happy to look after you, said Adrian smiling. Mommy will go in first, said Beau. Then Lana looked at the garden in front of her. Adrian's hand rubbed Lana's arm, and then gently massaged the nape of Lana's neck. Then the man looked at Lana's beautiful face from the side. Cup. Another kiss landed on Lana's chubby cheek. Lana rubbed her and Adrian's cheeks. He kissed her again repeatedly until Lana got annoyed. Adrian, cup. Lana's words were cut off again with a kiss on her lips. I miss you, said Adrian. Will you marry me? Adrian said, don't joke. That's not funny at all, said Lana. No, I'm not kidding. I want to marry you. I don't want to be separated from you again. So, I want to tie you up so you won't leave me again, answered Adrian. Lana looked closely at the handsome blue eyes. He saw the sincerity and seriousness in her. There, I love you. I love you very much, and my feelings have not changed at all since last year. I really love you, said Adrian, and then knelt in front of him. Lana, marry me. I really beg you, said Adrian once again, then took out a simple ring studded with small diamonds. You don't like anything too fancy, right? So I chose a simple ring for you. I still really know your taste and the size of your fingers, said Adrian. Lana still couldn't put into words what Adrian said. This was truly a sudden proposal that Lana had never thought about at all. Hey, answer it, said Adrian, who waited a long time for Lana's answer. If you ask why, then I answered it very clearly earlier. He continued, Adrian. Adrian waited a moment and finally put the ring on Lana's ring finger. Then the man kissed Lana's left hand and looked back at her. I assume you accept my proposal, said Adrian, smiling and kissing Lana's lips. Lana still sat there stunned because of that. Because he still can't digest it, what Adrian did. Chapter 81. It's too fast, Lana said finally. No, let's just say we've been together for 6 years, and this isn't the right time. Just a moment, answered Adrian. We dated for 6 years and you cheated on me many times. I see, what do you mean, said Lana. Baby, said Adrian. Do I also need to date other men for us to be even? Lana asked. Don't hope, answered Adrian and kissed Lana's lips again, who never got bored, did it? I will arrange this wedding as quickly as possible, said Adrian. I haven't decided yet, said Lana. You've decided, and the ring is sitting beautifully on your ring finger, answered Adrian. Lana chuckled and Adrian's attitude remained unchanged since before. I will call your parents and tell them about this after your hands recovered, continued Adrian, huffed. You always do whatever you want, said Lana, because I really love you and am afraid of losing you again, answered Adrian, who was still knelt in front of Lana. Lana scanned her lover's blue eyes again. Thank you, said Lana finally. Then Adrian smiled and then kissed those beautiful lips. Ahem. Let's eat, Bo said behind them. Lana automatically pushed Adrian's chest until the man fell. Mom, said Adrian, who didn't like Bewa's presence when he and Lana were together. Be in a romantic session. You can continue later. Now let's eat, Bo said and pulled slowly Lana's hand. Lana's face immediately turned red because of that. The three of them then went inside, and it turned out that Lucian was already at the dining table. You're welcome to come here, said Adrian. I'm bored and miss you. Lucian answered. Disgusting, said Adrian and sat next to Lana. TSK, you immediately forgot about me when Lana came. Even though we usually look for women, both of us, answered Lucian, which made Adrian widen his eyes at Lucian. Are you that playboy? Lana asked. Yes, he is very much a playboy, and I was his student. I was contaminated by him, Lana replied. Lucian made Adrian stand up and hit him hard on the back. Hey, you're not kids. Sit down, said River, the head of the family. Lana just shook her head looking at Adrian. Adrian then kissed him, his lips even though in front of him were his father and mother. We are getting married, Dad, Mom, said Adrian. What? Are you serious, Lana? Said Lucian. Adrian glared at Lucian. One more time you speak, this glass will fly to your head, said Adrian. Are you serious? Bo asked Adrian and Lana. He forced me, Lana answered. We still love each other, said Adrian. Is that true, Lana? Don't do this because you have to because Auntie won't let you two get married, said Bo. Lana looked at Bo and was still silent as if she was thinking. Adrian waited for an answer from Lana and he hoped that Lana felt what he felt. He felt, you still love him, darling? Don't be intimidated by Adrian's attitude if you are. I don't feel that way, said Bo again. Auntie will tell him to stay away from you if Adrian's presence is real, bothering you, continued Bo. Adrian was silent and did not interrupt Bo's words. The man was still waiting for an answer from his mouth. Lana, it is very difficult to get Lana to express her feelings like that. Formerly, yes, I still like him. I accepted his proposal, Lana finally answered. Not saying much, Adrian immediately hugged Lana. Thank you, he said softly. Bo and everyone present there smiled happily. Chapter 82. Flashback 6 years ago. The puddle water hit Lana's body who was walking on the campus sidewalk. Lana cursed harshly and a car stopped in front of her. Hey, look around you when you walk. Tell someone to walk near a puddle of water, he said. Rosette from his car window. Lana looked at Rosette and growled angrily. Come down if you dare. Challenge Lana. Lana really doesn't like noise. But he won't accept it and doesn't like it if anyone does. Make trouble with him. You're challenging me? Rosette asked dismissively. Yes, I challenge you, spoiled miss, said Lana, who deliberately provoked Rosette. Rosette looked angry and got out of her luxury car. This became the center of attention of several students who were passing by there. Rosette walks with her hips contorting to always look perfect and sexy. The eyes of everyone who looked at him. What's wrong? You want to make calculations with me? Asked Rosette with a hand folded across his chest. Then Lana hugged Rosette and made Rosette's clothes wet too. What are you doing? Let me go. Rosette shouted, pushing Lana's shoulder, but Lana didn't let it go. I don't like hostility, so I hugged you, replied Lana. Rosette screamed because her clothes became dirty because of this. Then suddenly Lana let go of Rosette so that the woman staggered to the side, back due to loss of balance. BYURR, Rosette fell into the puddle and cheered from several students. Sounds noisy. Look. Many people want you to fall into this puddle, spoiled miss, said Lana, and left, leaving Rosette screaming angrily, watch out. I will revenge you, bitch, shouted Rosette with an annoyed face. From a distance, Adrian saw this with his friends. The man grinned, crooked smile. That's my girl, said Adrian. Has he accepted you? Asked Adrian's friend who was sitting next to him. Soon, answered Adrian confidently. Spread this throughout the campus. No one is allowed to approach it except me. If anyone, if you dare, then they will deal with me, said Adrian. TSK, TSK, TSK. Looks like you're really crazy this time, said another friend of Adrian's. She's a rare woman and a complete package in my eyes. So I can't lose her and I have to. I'll get it no matter what, answered Adrian. The man then got up from his seat. Where are you going? Asked Adrian's friend. Of course, come to Lana. I will disturb her life from now on, answered Adrian. And Adrian went from there to the dormitory where Lana lived. Lana arrived at the dormitory and went straight to her room. Some of his friends asked, how could Lana get soaked like that? Lana then went into her room. Sigh. What an unlucky day. Lana grumbled and took off all her clothes. After that he headed to the bathroom, which was 3 rooms away. Lana only wore a bathrobe and wanted to take a shower immediately. A few minutes later, Lana was in her room again and already wearing clothes. Clean. Come in. Lana shouted from inside. Then the door opened and Lana saw Melissa, a student who also lived there. The dormitory. Adrian is waiting for you downstairs. Hurry up and meet him before the girls in this dorm seek his attention by walking in front of him, said Melissa. Oh my God, it's that man again, said Lana and finally came out of her room to meet him, that crazy guy. Chapter 83. Lana came out of her room and headed for the main door of the dormitory. His face showed extreme annoyance because he was still in a bad mood. Because of that, Lana opened the door and saw Adrian sitting relaxed in a waiting chair near the veranda. Hostile. What are you doing here? You're really a nuisance, said Lana to the handsome man. Adrian didn't say anything and reached into his jacket pocket and handed him a stick, Thornton's chocolate, which is Lana's favorite. Lana saw this and took the chocolate from Adrian's hand. How do you know? Asked Lana, who didn't get angry just because of a bar of chocolate. Adrian laughed softly, seeing Lana's reaction, which changed drastically just because of chocolate. His gift. I know everything about you. And you like chocolate the most, especially the Thornton's brand, Adrian answered. This is only sold in England. How did you get it so quickly? Lana asked. I can do everything as fast as lightning, answered Adrian. Then Lana opened the chocolate wrapper and ate it. The woman sat next to him. Adrian, I remember my family eating this chocolate because Daddy often bought it for me. Thank you, said Lana. It turns out it was quite easy to tame you, answered Adrian. I'm not an animal, said Lana, who then took another bite of her chocolate bar. Adrian took the chocolate that Lana had just bitten and ate it. Hey, what are you doing? Said Lana. I want to try it too, answered Adrian. Lana chuckled and bit into her chocolate. We are friends. Adrian asked, aren't you a master's student? Why look for a friend like me? Lana asked, is there a problem? I have the right to choose my friends from anywhere, answered Adrian. I'm not the type of friend who likes to go to parties or have fun because I'm focused at my lecture, said Lana. I'm not going to ask you to party and be quite accomplished. Maybe you could ask, answered me about your college lessons, Adrian answered. You like me? Lana asked while chewing. Adrian nodded. Why? I'm not the type of woman you dream of. You won't be strong with me because of me. Annoying, controlling, and very talkative, said Lana, uttering all the characteristics, a woman who men really don't like. Adrian just laughed in response and rubbed Lana's head to make her eyes. Lana was transfixed by Adrian's sharp blue eyes. Tomorrow I will pick you up, said Adrian, getting up from his seat. For what? I'm not a child, answered Lana. Because I like you, said Adrian, who was always clear and honest. Lana didn't answer anything and was still chewing her chocolate. Then Adrian waved his hand and turned to leave. Lana shook her head when she realized that she was staring at him, Adrian's direction. Your job is to study and go to college, Lana. Cum laude and get a master's scholarship. That's it, your current goal, muttered Lana, trying to straighten out her thoughts, which had taken a turn, to Adrian. Then Lana went back into the dormitory and went to her room. Lana called Chia, Lana's dorm friend. Lana held the door and didn't close it because Chia was approaching her. What is it? Lana asked. Are you dating Adrian? Chia asked enthusiastically and curiously. Extraordinary. No, answered Lana. Impossible. Adrian came over to you earlier and you two were talking intimately, said Chia. We don't speak intimately, Lana answered. On campus, Adrian had promised a relationship and no man was allowed to approach you other than him, said Chia. What? Lana said in surprise with a furrowed brow. Chapter 84. The next morning, as usual, Lana went to college on foot from her dorm. From afar, Adrian was seen running towards him. Hey, sorry. I'm late, said Adrian breathlessly. I'm not waiting for you, replied Lana as she walked. Then Adrian handed Lana a package, sandwiches and coffee. You must not have had breakfast, said Adrian. Lana stopped walking and looked at Adrian. Don't be like this to me. I really can't refuse someone's kindness, said Lana. Take it. You won't concentrate on studying if your stomach is empty, answered Adrian and put it down, the package and coffee into Lana's hands. Then the man turned to leave. Then Adrian looked back. We'll eat burgers at the park later. Okay? Adrian shouted some distance away. Lana didn't answer anything and walked back to her class. Why does he like me so much? Do I have to dress up ugly so he won't glance at me again? He's handsome, kind, royal, and I won't be able to keep ignoring him if his attitude is as good as it is. This is me. TSK, Lana muttered softly. Then Lana went into her class and sat in the front seat because there were still no people there, incoming students. Her class schedule was still half an hour away and Lana had wanted to use it to study, but that changed because he was going to eat the sandwich that Adrian had given him earlier. Delicious. Where does he buy a sandwich this thick? Lana muttered while chewing. After finishing breakfast, Lana immediately studied before the exam started. In the afternoon, Lana went to the park to meet Adrian. This is just what he did, just to honor Adrian's invitation. Adrian waved his hand from afar at Lana. The man was seen sitting on the grass, green with some friends. Lana approached him and Adrian stretched out his hand. Here, sit next to me, said Adrian as Lana held Adrian's hand. Wow, this fast? Your ability to conquer women is beyond doubt, Adrian, said Bobby, one of Adrian's friends who was sitting with him there. Hey, Lana. I'm Brittany. Don't listen to what he says. Adrian is a good man, said. One of the women beside Bobby is none other than Bobby's girlfriend. 2. Lana smiled and nodded. Here's your burger, said Adrian next to Lana. I'm still full. The sandwiches you brought earlier were really big. So I'm still a little full, replied Lana, trying to relax. Then take it home, said Adrian. Lana just nodded. Oh yeah, you spread rumors that we were dating? Lana asked. Replied Adrian, nodding while eating his burger. For what? Are you crazy? Lana asked. So that no one bothers you besides me. So you can focus on studying if there are no men who teases you, right? Said Adrian, who was responded to with laughter by his friends. Her friend. That has nothing to do with it, answered Lana. I like you, so I will chase you until you accept me. And I don't want to be around distraction from any man while I'm chasing you, said Adrian, casually. Oh my. You're so dominant, and it seems like you can't deny it. You can't do anything, that's it, Adrian. That means you are very selfish, replied Lana. Yes, I'm very selfish when it comes to you, said Adrian, smiling. Chapter 85. Today is a holiday, and Lana isn't going anywhere because this is her relaxing time. Hostel. Not long after, Adrian called her, and the girl was actually too lazy to pick it up, but because the phone ringing didn't stop at all, Lana finally picked it up. I'm outside, come out now, said Adrian. I'm relaxing and don't want to be disturbed, said Lana. Okay, answered Adrian and hung up the phone. Lana frowned at Adrian's reaction, which didn't force her. Then Lana put her cell phone back on the table. The girl listened to the song again through the headphones that were placed in her ears. A few minutes later, Lana's door opened and she was shocked when she saw it. Adrian was standing in front of him. Lana immediately sat up. What are you doing here? How did you get in? Said Lana while widened his eyes. I can penetrate any building, said Adrian lightly. Oh my. You're crazy, said Lana. You want to relax, right? So I'll accompany you to relax here. Or you want, come out with me? We're going on a date outside, said Adrian to the point. Aren't you wearing your bra? Adrian asked, which made Lana automatically close her chest with her hands, because Lana is currently only wearing a t-shirt and camisole shorts. Then Lana walked to her closet and took out her jacket. Don't look at me like that. You're just a maniac, said Lana and put on her jacket. Adrian chuckled and sat on the edge of Lana's bed. Come out, Adrian. It's very impolite of you to enter the women's area, said Lana. I'll go out with you, said Adrian. Tisk, said Lana and then took off her trousers. I'm going to change clothes. Don't look at me, said Lana. Then Adrian turned his face towards the door. Lana immediately changed clothes with lightning-fast movements. She also put on her bra first. Formerly, Lana didn't realize that Adrian was watching Lana's activities from the mirror behind her, the door. His mischievous smile faded. Is that a birthmark? Adrian asked when he saw the lines behind Lana's back, which already looks unclear. Lana looked at Adrian. You. Close your eyes, you bastard, said Lana, throwing a pillow at the back of his head. Adrian just laughed. Then Lana quickly put on all her clothes and finally finished. Lana took her shoes and put them on while sitting on her bed, opposite Adrian's position. Already? Adrian asked. Lana answered and took her small bag. Then Adrian took Lana's hand and Lana tried to let go, but Adrian, hold it very tightly. You won't be able to let it go, said Adrian and opened the bedroom door. Several girls passing by in the dormitory hallway looked at the two of them. Lana is not comfortable with this, because men are not allowed to enter this dormitory. But Adrian casually walked down the hall as if he had no burden or feeling. Completely guilty, Lana chuckled in annoyance and looked sharply at Adrian. Yes. I know you are very impressed with me, said Adrian, smiling faintly. Then they left the dormitory and headed towards Adrian's parked sports car in the dormitory yard. Come on up, said Adrian. Even though Lana came from a rich family, this was her first time riding in a sports car, which are usually owned by conglomerates, and he thought that Adrian must be the son of a conglomerate. This is my uncle's car. I borrowed it, said Adrian as if he knew what was going through Lana's head. Then they both got into the car. Chapter 86. Adrian took Lana to his mansion because it was quite quiet there and they could walk by the lake and large gardens. Whose house is this? Lana asked. My uncle. He's abroad now, Adrian lied. Are you sure we can come in here? Lana asked. Of course. Come on, answered Adrian and pulled Lana's hand into the mansion. Several servants who passed by them seemed to lower their heads respectfully, and Lana responded by nodding too. Where are we going? You couldn't possibly take me to my room, could you? Lana asked. Adrian laughed softly and continued walking towards the backyard. Lana then saw a fairly wide expanse of garden and there was a lake in it. The end. Is that a lake? Lana asked. Yes, answered Adrian. Then they walked together and Adrian was still holding Lana's hand. Can you let go of my hand? Lana asked. No, answered Adrian absolutely. Even though Adrian was a little pushy, he was still polite and not impudent. Lana. That's what makes Lana feel safe when she's with Adrian. He believed that Adrian would not do anything out of line even if they were just get to know. Now they arrived at the lake dock. Adrian untied the boat and invited him. Lana got into the small boat. Come on, said Adrian, who had now boarded the boat. Adrian stretched out his hand and Lana held it and jumped slowly onto the boat. Is this an artificial lake? Lana asked. No, this is natural and this house was built because there is this beautiful lake, answered Adrian. Lana nodded and lowered her hand towards the lake water. Adrian rows the boat and Lana likes this. Lana's smile widened and she looked around the lake area. Is that a hill? Lana asked. Said Adrian, still rowing. Then Lana looked at Adrian. I want to try rowing, said Lana. Then Adrian stopped his movements and gave the paddle to Lana. Is that so? Lana asked, demonstrating her rowing movements. Yes, I see. Press hard so that the boat moves forward, said Adrian. Then Lana started rowing and she seemed to be having a little trouble doing it. This turns out to be very difficult, said Lana. Yes, it's not as easy as it seems. And you have to balance the movements so that this boat, it doesn't shake, answered Adrian. Lana nodded and rowed up to 10 oars. I can't stand it anymore, said Lana and gave the paddle to Adrian again. Lana was still catching her breath and stretching her sore hands. Row, you rarely exercise? Adrian asked. Yes, I'm too busy studying, answered Lana. Want to exercise with me? I'll go to the dorm in the afternoon and we can jog together. Just 3 times a week, said Adrian. Usually we will be lazy about exercising if we don't have friends to accompany us. So I will accompany you, said Adrian. Lana was still silent and thinking. Just exercising, said Adrian again. Okay, Lana answered finally. Adrian was Lana's only male friend while she was in New York, because only Adrian dared to approach him even though he had been kicked out many times and never broke down. Lana usually becomes an annoying woman if a man approaches her, because he avoids things like that to focus on his studies. But it's different from Adrian, who has a stubborn nature even though Lana has made the man not like him, but Adrian still didn't give up on approaching him. Chapter 87. Lana spent the whole day at Adrian's mansion all day until she arrived. Dinner time arrived. They just chatted on the boat and also walked around the park. And that's it, spent quite a long time. From there, Lana began to get to know Adrian more closely. The man wasn't always as cool as usual. Adrian turned out to be a good listener, also, and always pay attention to what the other person is saying. Adrian is also an intelligent figure when Lana gets to know him better. That language, they talk about always connecting and making their communication run smoothly. That evening Adrian took Lana to a restaurant first before taking her home. They will have dinner together. Adrian took him to a small restaurant and not too luxurious. They entered the restaurant and immediately sat at the edge table near the window, because Lana likes watching people passing by on the sidewalk. After their ordered food arrived, Lana and Adrian started evening together. Have you ever dated? Adrian asked during his dinner. No, because my father is quite strict about this, and strangely I obey him, Lana answered. Adrian smiled. You like men, right? Asked Adrian randomly. Lana frowned. No, answered Lana, who was also random. Adrian laughed softly. Want to date me? Asked Adrian, who was now discussing this topic after earlier he didn't talk about it all day. Lana stopped eating and looked at Adrian. I will not disturb your lecture. I will respect your privacy and I will prioritize your wishes, continued Adrian. What do you like about me? My face? Lana asked. There are many beautiful women on campus, and not only you. But I didn't choose you because that reason, answered Adrian. Then what do you like about me? Lana asked. I like every part of you. I like your cynical face. I like your anger and annoyance. I like your commitment to learning. I like your stubborn nature. I love it all, and it's not limited to just the physical. Just do it, right? Said Adrian. You mentioned all my bad qualities? So you like my bad qualities? Lana asked. Made Adrian laugh. Yes, whether you are good or bad, I like them all, answered Adrian. You're used to saying this to lots of girls, right? I'm not that easy, instigated and lulled, said Lana and continued eating again. It's up to you to judge me. But I'm serious about you. Give me a chance, be your girlfriend, Adrian answered in a slightly pleading tone. I don't like you begging. Don't do that. I'm not as good as you, insisted on having sex with me, said Lana. Who said you were that good? I didn't say that, said Adrian. Lana sked and pouted. Then Adrian stood up and knelt in front of Lana even though there were many people looking at him, their direction, except me. Adrian said. What are you doing? Lana said softly. Begging you, replied Adrian, smiling casually. Get up right now, said Lana, widening her eyes. No, before you accept me, answered Adrian. You whispered Lana, annoyed and unable to understand Adrian's behavior. Many restaurant visitors were still looking at the two of them. Okay, now stand up, said Lana finally because she seemed to have no choice. Say it clearly, Adrian said. Oh my God. I want to punch your nose, said Lana. Say it, said Adrian. I accept you as my girlfriend. Are you satisfied? Said Lana. Chapter 88, still flashback. It doesn't realize that Adrian and Lana have been dating for 2 months. And Lana hasn't. Gave Adrian his first kiss. Adrian's reaction? Quite annoyed, because Lana still thinks their relationship is just that, just status. But Adrian didn't force Lana and could only kiss her cheek. And that's it. Made Adrian happy even though sometimes the man provoked him by kissing him, corner of his lips. Adrian still faithfully picks up and takes Lana to her dormitory at college, though sometimes he couldn't do that because he was busy at his father's company. Believe it or not, Lana still doesn't know anything about the Kingsford family, is a conglomerate family. You don't want to live in my apartment? Asked Adrian one sunny afternoon. No, Lana answered while eating her burger. The two lovebirds were seen sitting on the grass in the campus park. Why? I won't do anything wrong to you, said Adrian. We're just dating and not husband and wife, Lana answered casually. I want us to be closer, because I'm serious about you, said Adrian. Lana turned to Adrian. Does that mean we have to have the same roof? It doesn't make sense, Lana answered. Okay, I won't force you. Watch it again at my apartment later. Adrian asked. I can't. I have work to do today, answered Lana. Adrian just nodded and he realized that maybe Lana didn't feel that way. Deep into him, and Adrian tried to understand that. He was the one who forced Lana to become his girlfriend, so he accepts the risk if Lana still acts a little indifferent to him. Next week I will go abroad, said Adrian. Lana just nodded while reading her book. Then Adrian closed the book and, holding Lana's cheek so that the woman focused on him, Lana saw Adrian while still munching on her burger. Adrian chuckled when he saw Lana's chubby cheeks move funny because of the movement. Chew it. I love you, said Adrian. Once again, Lana just nodded and Adrian kissed her nose and cheeks passionately. Adrian, there are lots of people here, said Lana, moving Adrian's face away from hers. Adrian smiled and squeezed Lana's nose. I've been abroad for a while. Because there are several countries I have to visit, answered Adrian. Is work important? You were recruited by a big company before you graduated? Lana asked. Adrian smiled then nodded. You don't mind if I leave you for a long time? Adrian asked. What's the problem if you go abroad? Before we started dating, I always go to campus alone, Adrian. And I can be with my friends too, answered Lana. Okay, don't forget to always answer my phone and answer my messages, said Adrian, reminded. Oh my. You're still leaving next week, right? So let's not talk about it now, said Lana. I just reminded you from the start so that you don't ignore me, said Adrian, hugged Lana's shoulder and rested the woman's head on the base of her arm. Are you happy with me, baby? Adrian asked. You're my closest friend while I'm here, answered Lana. Friend? I'm your lover. Don't forget that, said Adrian. Lana chuckled and kissed Adrian's cheek. Thank you, said Lana. What for? Asked Adrian, who rarely heard those words from Lana. Lana felt that Adrian was patient enough to deal with her and had the same attitude and thoughts. Mature behind that cool attitude, Adrian never forced him to do anything that Lana didn't want to do, including kissing. For everything, Lana answered and suddenly kissed Adrian's lips, which of course made him. The man was shocked. Lana immediately stood up and ran after doing that. Chapter 89. Lana had just finished attending her lecture when it was approaching afternoon. He immediately left class, because he wanted to avoid Adrian, who he gave him this afternoon, lip kiss. Lana just felt embarrassed if she had to meet Adrian now, and she would meet him tomorrow, just with his girlfriend. Lana jogged into the school hallway. After leaving the school building he walked. Hurry because Adrian will be out of class in 5 minutes. A few minutes later, a hand grabbed Lana's wrist and pulled him until Lana's body leaned against the building wall. You want to run from me? Said Adrian, smiling. No, I'm just in a hurry because I have a bit of a stomach ache, argued Lana. Adrian laughed when he heard this and then bit Lana's slightly parted lips. Adrian had been waiting for this for a long time and he didn't want to waste the green light, already lit by Lana. Lana held Adrian's chest and broke the kiss. Are you crazy? This is a public place, said Lana. Adrian chuckled then took Lana's hand and took her to the car a distance away, only 20 meters from where they were standing. Adrian, where are you taking me? Lana asked. Adrian just kept quiet and opened his car door, then told Lana to go inside. After entering, Adrian got into the car. You don't have anything to do after this, right? Asked Adrian, who then started the engine. His car, yes. Then, said Lana, we're going to my apartment, said Adrian. What for? Lana asked with words full of inquiry. You're used to coming to my apartment. Why are you still asking what for now? Said Adrian. Adrian, listen, I only allow you to kiss me. That's all and nothing else. Other things, said Lana. Clarifying this, Adrian laughed at Lana's words. You think I'm going to ask you to make love? No, we'll make love if you do. Wanted it first, Adrian answered. Lana breathed a sigh of relief when she heard that. At least Adrian didn't violate the agreement. To what extent the man can touch them. 15 minutes later, they arrived at Adrian's apartment. Just as he closed the door, Adrian attacked Lana again with a blow to his lips. Lana knew that Adrian would definitely do this again and again. Lana put her arm around Adrian's neck and returned his lover's kiss. Adrian lifted Lana's body so that Lana wrapped her legs around Adrian's waist. While still kissing, Adrian took Lana to the sofa, which was right in front of the balcony. Adrian sat down and Lana was on his lap. They were still kissing for a long time, until finally it stopped because the cell phone in Adrian's trousers rang. Adrian wanted to curse harshly, but he held it in and chose to lift his cell phone. Lana was still on his lap and Adrian didn't let the girl leave. From where he Saturday, "Hello, Mom," said Adrian. "Where are you?" asked Bo, Adrian's mother, from across the phone. "I'm at the apartment," answered Adrian. "Get ready, we're leaving tonight," said Bo. "What's wrong?" "Why does it have to be brought forward?" asked Adrian, frowning. "Absolute orders from Daddy," replied Bo. "We'll meet at the airport." "Bye," Bo said, and hung up his cell phone. Adrian then put his cell phone away and looked at Lana. "What is it?" Lana asked. "I'll leave tonight," answered Adrian, pressing his lips to hers. Lana. Chapter 90. Adrian still felt at home kissing Lana's lips and hugging her slender body. Go," said Lana. "Hey, aren't you at all sad about parting with me?" Adrian asked while cupping his cheek. "Lana, could you have been prevented?" "No, couldn't you?" Lana asked. "At least be a little sad about my leaving," said Adrian. "I really have a hard time crying, so I can't be sad because I'm forced to," answered Lana. "Tisk, it's you," said Adrian while squeezing Lana's sharp nose. Lana laughed a little and then hugged Adrian. "I'm going to miss you," Lana said. Adrian returned the hug and kissed Lana's shoulder. "You're here until evening," said Adrian. "Okay," replied Lana. Following Adrian's wishes. "Take my car while I'm not there," said Adrian. "No, I'm not going anywhere either. I'll just be on campus," answered Lana, let go of his hug, then kissed Adrian's lips again. Then Lana got up from Adrian's lap and headed for the kitchen because she felt hungry. The woman opened the refrigerator and looked for food that she could eat. "We should have met since I arrived on campus," said Lana. "Yes, I hope the same thing," said Adrian, who followed Lana into the kitchen. "At least my pocket money has only decreased a little, because you always pay. Eat me," said Lana. "What? That's all I benefit you?" asked Adrian, who then hugged Lana. Behind, Lana laughed softly and then ate a piece of cake that was in the refrigerator. "Are you hungry? Shall we order something to eat?" Adrian asked. "No, just this," answered Lana while chewing. And Lana was there until Adrian went to the airport. Lana even helped Adrian to pack his suitcase. Evening arrived. Adrian took Lana home to her dorm. Adrian still seemed reluctant to let go of his lips with Lana's lips. "You should have allowed me a week ago so that I would be more satisfied with kissing you," he whispered. Adrian. Lana just smiled and kissed Adrian's lips repeatedly. "Go, bye. See you soon," said Lana. And Adrian kissed Lana's lips one last time before he went outside. Country. After the farewell drama, Lana got out of the car and waved at him. "The lover, I love you," said Adrian. Lana smiled and Adrian finally left there. "I love you too," Lana whispered while smiling. And then, Lana entered the dormitory. 2 weeks passed and Adrian had not returned to America. Lana really misses her lover. He only felt lonely this time when he was left behind by Adrian. Lana just realized that she really loved that man. Since yesterday, Lana hasn't been there, received a chat or call from Adrian, and that made him a little annoyed. Lana had tried to call him, but there was no answer from Adrian because the cell phone is dead. Now Lana is seen walking to her class after having lunch at the cafe. It's in the campus canteen, and from behind him, someone called him, "Lana." Linda shouted, which made Lana look back. "What's wrong?" "You're running out of breath like that," said Lana. "Have you heard the news?" Linda asked. "News? What news and what is it about?" asked Lana and frowned. "I've been looking for you." "It's about Adrian," said Linda. "Adrian? What's wrong with him?" Lana asked. "He had an accident on his way to Hamburg Airport the day before yesterday," answered Linda. "What?" Lana said in surprise while covering her mouth. Chapter 91. "Don't be kidding, Linda," said Lana with a panicked face. "Yes, I found out about this from his friend. He had an accident, but his friend doesn't know the situation yet, and how bad he was," said Linda. "Stop it. Don't say things like that." "I'm sure it was just an ordinary accident," said Lana, a little bit afraid. "What should I do, Linda? My mind is really confused now. Since yesterday, he didn't call me," said Lana. "Hey, calm yourself. I hope he's fine. Now let's go home to the dormitory." "I'll find out news about Adrian for you," said Linda, holding Lana's hand, shaking a little. Lana just nodded and then turned to leave. Then Lana walked towards the dormitory while taking out her cell phone. He called Adrian, but his cell phone remained dead. He cursed for a long time in annoyance and didn't realize that his tears were falling. He was really afraid of what would happen, something bad about the man who already filled her heart. Lana stopped walking and turned towards Adrian's faculty. He wanted to ask, went straight to Adrian's friends about the man's condition. Lana ran, because it was very late and the campus was starting to get quiet. When he got there, he wasn't there, found Adrian's friend at all, and that made him even more annoyed. "Lana? Didn't I tell you to just wait in the dorm?" said Linda, who saw it. "Lana's there. I want to check for myself. I'll go to his apartment," Lana said and walked away from in front of Linda. "Do you need me to accompany you?" Linda asked. "No, I'll go there myself," Lana answered in a hurry and immediately ran towards the road. Then, Lana hailed a taxi and immediately went to Adrian's apartment. "Should I go to his uncle's mansion?" Lana muttered. No, there are only servants there," said Lana. Throughout the journey, Lana felt increasingly restless and she didn't know how to proceed. Contact Adrian. Lana doesn't know Adrian's family yet, even though Adrian repeatedly wants to invite her to her parents' mansion, but Lana wasn't ready to meet because they were still in a relationship, as long as corn. 15 minutes later, Lana arrived at Adrian's apartment and immediately went upstairs. Lana opened the apartment door and went inside. At the same time, Adrian came out of his room wearing a towel wrapped around his waist. "Baby? How did you know I was coming?" asked Adrian, smiling, and approached him. "Oh God, Adrian. This isn't funny." Lana snapped. "What do you mean?" Adrian asked. "Are you pranking me?" Lana asked back. "Hey, I don't understand what you mean. My phone broke and I haven't been able to contact you since yesterday. And I'll just go to your dorm after this," said Adrian. Some say you had an accident, said Lana. Adrian cupped Lana's cheek. Yes, it was just a small accident and my cell phone was damaged because it fell out of the car window. Adrian answered. Lana breathed a sigh of relief. At least now Adrian is fine and around, in front of him. You can borrow your family or friend's cell phone to contact me, said Lana. I forgot the number, answered Adrian, smiling as if he felt guilty. I even remember your cell phone number by heart, said Lana. Then Adrian kissed Lana's lips, which he really missed. I love you, said Adrian. I love you too, Lana finally answered. Adrian smiled broadly because he finally heard those words from Lana. Chapter 92. I miss you so much, said Adrian. Me too, said Lana, and stood on tiptoe and kissed the lips of the man she loved so much. Lana put her arms around Adrian's neck and kissed him intensely, because of her deep longing and love for that man. Lana's thigh entered the middle of Adrian's thigh and made his groin react. Baby, you will torment me like this, whispered Adrian when Lana kissed him. His neck. I want you, whispered Lana, still kissing Adrian's bare chest, even. Adrian cupped Lana's jaw and looked into her eyes. Are you sure? Adrian asked quietly. Lana answered, and her hand had already opened the towel covering the area under Adrian's body. Those naughty hands began to arouse Adrian's desire and made the man unable to resist the temptation any longer. Adrian didn't waste his time. He lifted Lana's body and carried her to the room. Their lips were still connected until Adrian lay his lover's body on the bed. Lana bit her lip when Adrian started to take off his white sweater. Adrian's hand went under Lana's white t-shirt and opened the t-shirt. Lana's hand lifted up and Adrian managed to open Lana's clothes. Their eyes met because Adrian wanted to see the confidence in Lana's eyes. They did things so far. Adrian kissed Lana's lips again and his right hand unhooked Lana's bra. Finally opened. Adrian cupped those round breasts and made Lana moan because it was her first. The first time a man touched her body. Adrian traced Lana's neck and sipped slowly until it finally emptied into the area. Lana's full chest. Adrian kissed the top of Lana's chest and it made Lana's body arch. Her body tingled from Adrian's kiss. Aha. Lana's moans made Adrian even more excited. Adrian continued to open Lana's trousers and his kisses moved to the groin area. Lana is making Lana even crazier. His hands gripped the bed sheets, because this was the first time he felt this pleasure. Adrian. He moaned sexily. Adrian's hands gently massaged Lana's chest while still playing with his tongue in the area. Lana's groin. Then Adrian looked back at Lana. Are you sure? Baby? Adrian asked. If I say no, will you stop? Lana asked quietly. No, because it's too late, answered Adrian, smiling crookedly and starting to continue the scene. The main thing is, Adrian started to push his body slowly so that his penis went deeper. Lana screamed softly and her hands tightly gripped Adrian's broad shoulders. HMMPPH. Groaned Adrian as his lips connected to Lana's. Adrian's right hand lifted Lana's left thigh and made hers enter perfectly. Their eyes looked at each other again and they were really aware of what they were doing. Love you. And I will never leave you. Adrian whispered as he moved slowly over Lana's innocent body. I love you too, said Lana in a whisper, and her body squirmed under Adrian's body. The game lasted several minutes, and finally Adrian fulfilled his wish. To Lana, stay here, said Adrian while eating his dinner. No, if I stay here, you won't miss me anymore, answered Lana. Adrian laughed softly and rubbed Lana's soft cheek. Stay here tonight, said Adrian. Chapter 93. Present time. Lana still lives at Beau's mansion, and now 2 weeks have passed. Lana and Adrian agreed to get married next month, while waiting for Lana's wounds to heal. Total. The relationship between the two is now starting to run normally again, although sometimes Lana still does, insinuated Adrian about his playboy attitude. Both of Lana's parents have agreed to this marriage, and they really like it. Happy when I heard this news. They will return to America a week before Lana's wedding. Baby, can we move into my mansion? Adrian said quietly when he was at the edge of the pool, swimming. No, I feel at home here. I'll go there if we're married, Lana answered. Oh, zero my. This is really torturing me. I really miss you. Understand, Adrian said. Miss my body, you mean? Lana asked. Everything. I want to be alone with you a little longer, answered Adrian. We can be alone here, said Lana. No, in my mansion it's just me and you. Meanwhile, here there are lots of people and that will happen. It bothers me, Adrian answered, for many reasons. Lana looked at Adrian. There are lots of reasons for you to make love to me, said Lana. Whatever you think. Please come with me to my mansion, said Adrian. Plead. Lana cupped Adrian's cheek and smiled at him. Once no, always no, answered Lana. Huffed. You're still stubborn, said Adrian. You too, replied Lana. Then Adrian hugged Lana and pulled Lana into the swimming pool. Adrian. Lana shouted. Your punishment for being too stubborn, said Adrian. My clothes are wet, Adrian, said Lana irritably. My clothes too, answered Adrian and took off his clothes. Then Adrian opened Lana's clothes. Wait, what are you doing? Lana asked. We'll go swimming together, answered Adrian and threw Lana's dress to the edge of the pool. And now he only wears his underwear. You did this on purpose, right? Said Lana. Answered Adrian, who was now hugging Lana. Lana laughed softly and put her arms around Adrian's neck. Love you, and I want you so bad, whispered Adrian, then kissed Lana's neck. Adrian, this is a swimming pool and someone will see us, said Lana. Everyone is going to Brother Max's mansion. And there are only servants here, answered Adrian. No. Can you be patient? We're getting married in 2 weeks, said Lana, holding her head. Adrian traced his neck. Adrian chuckled and then took Lana to the edge of the pool. After arriving at the edge of the pool, Adrian leaned Lana's body against it. Then the man bit Lana's wet lips and Lana welcomed him. Adrian's hands wrapped around Lana's waist and hugged her tighter. After kissing for a long time, they then looked at each other. Don't want to continue in the room? Asked Adrian, who was still flirting with Lana. Lana laughed a little again. No, Lana answered and kissed Adrian on the lips. Okay, said Adrian, who put his forehead on Lana's shoulder. Lana rubbed Adrian's head and they hugged again. Never leave me again, understand, said Adrian. I plan to always stick to you after we get married, replied Lana. Adrian smiled. I would be very happy if you stuck to me, said Adrian. I love you, and I have always loved you from the past until now. My feelings have never been changed to you, even though I often deny it, said Lana. I knew it, replied Adrian, smiling again. Chapter 94. Congratulations, my brother. Lucian shouted while raising his wine glass, and everyone also raised their wine glasses to welcome Adrian's wedding party. Lana, CHERRSSS, shouted Lucian again. Then they drank their wine and enjoyed the lively party together. Happiness. Adrian and Lana were seen dancing together to the slow music being played by musicians. we're going straight to our honeymoon? Lana asked. Yes, answered Adrian, kissing Lana's lips. Where to? Lana asked. To my family's beach resort. We don't need to go abroad, because that would be consuming too long, answered Adrian. Lana laughed softly, and then Adrian stopped his dancing movements and carried her. Lana, the party isn't over yet, said Lana. Done for us. They will still party even if we leave, answered Adrian. There were cheers welcoming the bride and groom who couldn't wait for the evening, their first. Oh my God. You embarrass me, Adrian, said Lana, hiding her face. Adrian's neck. Adrian just smiled and left the party crowd. Adrian went inside, mansion, and then went upstairs. Hey, aren't we going straight to the resort? Lana asked. Yes, after I finish it here first, answered Adrian, who made Lana chuckled. Arriving at the room, Adrian immediately locked the door and took Lana upstairs. Bed. Adrian bit Lana's lips mercilessly again. Adrian unzipped Lana's dress. It's on the side, Urg. I want you so bad. And I've been waiting for this for a very long time, said Adrian while, along Lana's now exposed neck and chest, Adrian stood up and gently pulled Lana's wedding dress from underneath. Can I curse? This dress is very difficult to open, said Adrian. Lana chuckled and held out her hand to Adrian. Pick me up. Lana said, and Adrian grabbed her hand. Then Lana easily lowered her dress until it finally fell off her body. Slim, easy, right? Lana said, and Adrian took off his own clothes, then lay back down, Lana's body onto the bed. Adrian's hands lifted Lana's hands up and began to trace her body. The foreplay didn't last long because Adrian couldn't hold back his desire any longer. Which has peaked. Adrian entered the scene quickly and moved wildly. Eh. He groaned loudly, then bit the woman's lips again, which was now gone, become his legal wife. Their bodies moved in sync, and Lana held Adrian's shoulders tightly. Their breathing sounded rapid and in unison. Adrian held and sandwiched two thighs, Lana, and again moved back and forth until they finally reached the peak. Together a few minutes later. We'll continue later. I really won't let you go, baby, he whispered, Adrian in Lana's ear. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, said Lana. Adrian then looked closely into Lana's eyes and smiled. Get ready for the next session, answered Adrian. I'm very ready, said Lana, smiling crookedly. Adrian laughed softly and hugged Lana for a while before they took a shower. How long are we on our honeymoon? Lana asked. 6 months, answered Adrian. What? Are you crazy? That's not a honeymoon, answered Lana. We haven't seen each other for 6 years, so I will replace our moments for 6 months, full without interruption. We will go to several countries, said Adrian. Lana smiled and kissed Adrian's lips. We did agree on that, including delaying pregnancy for a while, but I didn't expect that we would be on a honeymoon for 6 months, replied Lana, smiling. I want to create more memories with you. We have thrown away 6 years old, and I want to replace it. I love you, baby. I love you so much, said Adrian. I love you too, honey, answered Lana. The end.